Black Americans, in that we've been here for hundreds of years. All of our lineages goes back hundreds of years here in the U.S. And so, even though I know that a few of them on the panel don't subscribe to that moniker, and I get it, I get it. I'm at the point where I'm getting ready to jump off the damn train, especially when it comes to the respect of our elders. Family, you know I don't play that. When it comes to respecting our ancestors and elders, that's something that I take very serious. And I don't want to belong to any group of people, anybody who respects our honored elders and ancestors. But before we get tonight's discussion started, family, make sure that you head on over to uacistemcamp.com. We are starting our winter cycle the last week of December. Okay. And so make sure that you head on over to register your child today. Okay. I think registration ends tomorrow, family. So make sure that you head on over to uacistemcamp.com. This is a 100% virtual STEM camp. We send your child out a STEM kit, a t-shirt. They jump online with us for half a day. So from like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So they're on with us. They learn about our contributions to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which is done by the Ahuvu Academy. Shout out to Baba Amin Ojuwoke and brother Kevin Gales. And then also they join, the Conscious Ingenuity comes on with them or joins them around 11 o'clock to go over STEM, well, engineering specifically, where children learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity concepts, as well as the fundamental concepts of programming. You're looking at our 2024 UACI Winter STEM graduates. We're actually getting ready to post our summer 2025 graduates, but we have our 2024 graduates on the website. And you see our dedicated team of educators and engineers. And then also, family, if you scroll to the bottom of the screen, you can hear, you'll see you can watch a video of the testimonies, all right, parental testimonies. So parents actually love this camp. It's for young kids between the ages of 8 to 17. So if your child is between 8 and 17 years old, make sure that during the Christmas break, during the winter break, that you keep them engaged in learning. Ashe. And then also, family, head on over to meltrek365.com to grab your Meltrek films. If you come over here and you click on the word film, it'll take you to 3 films that you can download right away: Meltrek Episode 1, Meltrek Episode 2, and Meltrek Episode 3. Meltrek Episode 1 teaches our babies that our history does not begin with slavery, but greatness. Meltrek Episode 2 teaches what I call real American history, right? So they learn about the indigenous people, not the fake pretendians, but the real indigenous people that were here in Americas prior to the arrival of Christopher Columbus. So they explore the mound builders, the mound building cultures. They go into Mesoamerica and they learn about the Olmecs, Aztecs, and the Incas. And they go into, Olmecs, Aztecs, and Mayans. Then they go into South Africa where they learn about the Incas. Meltrek Episode 3 teaches children about the origins of the transatlantic slave trade. So make sure that you come here, click on any one of these films. It'll take you right here to another page where you can download each and every one of those films. So family, I see you all in the building already. You coming in real fast. Family, look, man, brother Sincere Love to God. Yeah, shout out to brother Sincere Love to God. He saw the interview. He watched the interview with Professor James Small and brother Ankh and myself. And he inboxed me. He's like, look, sis, I saw the interview and I want to have a conversation about what you said, because he said, you ain't say my name, but I knew you were talking about me. And he said, let's have the conversation. So I said, okay, cool. So we had a conversation, me, him, and Ankh, and decided to go public to talk about that conversation and the importance of us Black folks being able to resolve conflict in a healthy way. So he agreed to come on tonight and then talk about that. And we're also going to talk about some of the points that he made in the video when he was critiquing Professor James Small. But family, I got to bring up brother Ankh first. Brother Ankh, what it do, brother Ankh? What it do?
Oh, what tangle where we weave when first we practice to deceive. What's good, family, man? I'm glad we're here. Gonna be a great dialogue, great conversation, man. It's fun, man. I watched the two gentlemen's video. videos, and they funny guys, man.
Funny guys.
Funny guys, man. But I appreciate them coming here because it's important for African Americans. What did I say earlier? What I called? I said, what was it?
You said something crazy.
FBAA, Foundational Black African Americans. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I got them, and I'm the leader. That's what we doing.
Here we go, man. Let me bring up sincere love to God, man. Sincere love to God. What it do, brother? How you doing, brother?
Peace. I'm in the building. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine. And let me bring up Dr. Asar Winkler. Peace and love to you, Dr. Asar. How are you?
Blessings. I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Hope how you doing, Dr. Asar? I see you got the funny outfit on. That's what my man said. He said you the guy with the funny outfit on.
Oh, that's
what who said that? Who said that?
Oh, my man right here to help, to back up. Funny.
Okay. I know that. Hold on. Let me bring him up. Brother Dewan. Don't pay them no mind. They trying to start trouble already. Brother Dewan, don't pay them no mind. They trying to start trouble already. Peace and love to you, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I see Fraggle Rock over there trying to throw shots, but hey, that's what happens when you got a Nerf gun. You got to keep shooting because nothing lands. Let's go.
Y'all funny. But sincere, I want you to just kind of recap. I'm a defer to you, brother, and just to recap, what made you reach out? Remember, you inboxed me. You said, "Hey, we need to talk." And if you could just walk us back through what you were thinking, what you were feeling when you reached out, and then from your lens, what transpired when we talked on the telephone.
Yes, indeed. So, like you said, I had a chance to watch the video that you did, what you guys did, the interview with Professor James Small. Now, just to give the whole chronological order of everything, I had spoke to Professor Smalls earlier that day, and we were discussing him appearing on my platform on Sincere Love to Godcast. And it was supposed to be the following day. So I think that was on a Sunday, and we were supposed to have our thing the following day on that Monday. And so, he was a little busy while I was on the phone with him. I think he was picking up his grandkids or something like that was going on. So he was like, yo, I'll talk to you a little bit later. We'll get all the details hashed out. Cool. So me and Nicey had our regular Sunday broadcast like we do. And during the broadcast, people were in the chat saying, oh, Professor Smalls is live right now, because people were expecting Professor Smalls to be on our platform, because we were kind of promoting it, and we had like a poll going, fielding questions from the community to see what questions people wanted us to ask the professor and things like that. So people were in the chat, even though that wasn't our topic, people were in the chat asking, yo, when y'all gonna have Professor Smalls on? When y'all gonna have Professor Smalls on? And then, they let us know that he was live on your channel. And so if you look at my video, when they told me he was live on your channel, I was like, oh, that's dope. That should be a great conversation right there. You know what I'm saying? Because you're one of the people that I had in mind when I was thinking about who could we bring on to have a balanced conversation about this. You were one of the people that I had in mind, but I kind of, just let it go out of my mind, because I was like, Dr. Ma'a, if she wants to have a conversation with him, she can reach out to him herself and have him on her show. So I was like, nah, I kind of let it go from there. So when they said, yeah, he's on Dr. Ma'at's channel now, I'm like, oh, that's dope. I can't wait to see that. That should be a good conversation, because I know Dr. Ma'at is fair. She's balanced. She's a stomped down Pan-Africanist, but she also understands the purpose of this whole delineation movement and all that. You know what I'm saying? She stands 10 toes down. She doesn't see the contradiction. So this should be a good conversation. She should be able to explain this well and get some clarity, right? That was my thoughts. And so then when I finally got a chance to look at it, after I did my live, I got a chance to look at it. I didn't see that balance. I'll say that. I didn't see that balance there. Like I told you on the phone, I felt like, you guys just kind of threw some softballs at the professor and let him just say whatever he was going to say about what transpired. And that's cool if that's how you decide to go about it. I didn't really have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It's your channel. You go about it the way that you see fit. That's fine. But then when my name came up, he brought my name up because he mentioned that he had planned on coming on my platform or whatever. The energy kind of changed, and you took some shots at me. You know what I'm saying? Because you were, I'll let you explain how you were feeling, but from my understanding, you were upset about some of the titles that you seen, because we did 2 back-to-back broadcasts talking about the Professor James situation on our channel, and you know, you didn't like how we framed the situation, and so, you know, you took some shots at me. You said some things or whatever, and I'm like, really, Dr. Ma'at? You know, because we've had cordial relationship in the past, you know, respect for one another. We've chatted behind the scenes, you know, supported each other, different endeavors or whatever. And so I'm like, damn, Dr. Ma'at, she couldn't have watched the video. There's no way she watched the video and she feeling that way. So this is a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I'm gonna reach out to her. I ain't gonna go live and do a response and back or do none of that. Let me reach out to her so we could clear some of this up. And so that's what I did. I inboxed you, sent you my number and all of that. And the next day you gave me a call. You had the brother Ankh on the phone with you, which, you know, I kind of understand why you did that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't understand. You probably didn't know what kind of energy I was coming with. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man, you a woman. So, you know, it's good that you have a brother there that's willing to, you know, be that protection for you if need be. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like while me and you were trying to have a constructive conversation, brother Ankh, you was being very disruptive on the phone and trying to derail the conversation and kind of low-key trolling on the phone, which is weird to me. It's one thing to, you know, to be a troll online, but we on the phone having a private conversation and you kind of trolling. You know, I thought that was weird. You know, to me, like I said, I understand why you was there in the first place, but I think once you seen that it was going to be a respectful dialogue, that you should have just kind of fell back at that point, because it wasn't about you. I wasn't there to address you about anything. I didn't have no issue with you about anything, but you kept kind of centering yourself, and that's how things kind of went on the phone. But at the end of the day, you know, it didn't go crazy left. You know what I'm saying? We still came to some type of understanding between me and you, Dr. Ma'at. We showed respect to one another. You acknowledged what you felt like you needed to own on your end. You know, I told you I can understand, you know, why you felt the way you felt based on the way I framed, you know, our videos and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I also explained my full intentions and where I was coming from. And I encouraged you to actually watch the video so you could see for yourself that we actually showed respect. Even though we were critiquing the professor, we did it in the most respectful manner that, you know, I know how to do. And then, you know, you said, you know what, let's do a joint broadcast together and build on it. And so here we are.
Okay. All right. And I think that what you just conveyed to the audience was pretty accurate. But a lot of you all, and I know that people say, oh, she didn't push back on what Professor James Small said. She didn't give him any pushback. Having him on, it wasn't about giving him pushback. It was about affording him the opportunity to give context and clarity to what he was saying. You know, it wasn't about me trying to debate him or challenge him. It was, hey, these videos are circulating around about you. These are clips, you know. So if you notice, and this is what I mean, and I'm not talking about anybody on this panel right now when I say this. A lot of times, and Dr. Asar will tell you, we have conversations about critical thinking and listening comprehension. And a lot of times, a lot of our people, what ends up happening is we don't think. A lot of us, we struggle with thinking, let alone to critically think. And then we have very weak listening comprehension, right? And so anyone who was really listening to that will say, hey, you know, you would conclude that was my objective. I didn't say that that's what I was doing. But if you listen to my line of questioning, right? My line of questioning, and you actually understood it, then you would say, okay, this sister brought him on to bring clarity, to bring context. Here are some clips that are floating around about you. One clip is saying that you called Tariq a CIA agent. Another one is that you said FBA is a CIA operation. Another clip, they have you talking about the African American identity. Another clip, they got you banging on continental Africans. What was going on? Give us some clarity. Give us some context surrounding these clips. So that was the whole objective of me bringing Professor James Small on the platform. It wasn't to debate him. It wasn't to challenge him. It was, hey, this is what's out there about you. Can you tell us how you feel, what you think, what were you trying to get across? And that's what it was about. So it wasn't, I'm not bringing on the elder to be combative with the elder or I'm not doing that. I'll bring the elder on, and the purpose of me bringing an elder on, or this particular elder, was for clarity and context. That was all it was. It wasn't to battle him in any way. I think the internet did enough of that, actually, over the past couple of days with the amount of videos that I saw circulating about Professor James Small. So I do agree with you that whatever, how you describe the conversation, that's exactly, how it went. Brother Ankh, what are your thoughts? Can you weigh in on what you were thinking transpired when we were on the phone?
Yeah, they call me Bobby Rage Beta.
Here we go.
Super troll. Because I'm thinking these two brothers' conversation, they trolling us the whole time. They got to be trolling. They got to be rage baiting us when they say that African Americans, right, ain't who they really is, and that indigenous black people was here first and didn't come from Africa. I'm thinking y'all trolling. So the conversation we had was very lighthearted and very fun. You just a little bit too serious, Sincere. You real serious, right? But at the end of the day, you should get more serious with your studies. It's not hard to figure out who African Americans are. So in that conversation, I'm only doing what y'all doing. I'm bringing the same energy everybody bringing me. So when y'all online making up stuff about who African Americans is, I'm saying they got to be trolling because it's a click away. Seriously, so that go for both of y'all. Y'all trolling us all day, every day. Every broadcast y'all do is filled with misinformation. Now, Doc, she like to play the game. I'm not doing none of that.
I don't play the game. What do you mean by play the game?
I'm saying like it's something like they out to get what they want to get. So I just like to get straight to it. What they want to get to is to prove the FBA is some kind of standard in academics and will give us clarity on who we are, and we better fight back. I'm saying that's nonsense. That has nothing to do with our friendships, how they're going to develop. But I just like to get straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Sincere, listen, man, we cool, bro. This is just a conversation. When we was on the phone, bro, I was doing what I felt like I needed to do. You came off with the little tough guy energy a little bit to the sister, right? And now I understand that you're just a serious dude until it comes to them studies. But your conversation, you serious, you wasn't disrespectful. You was a little bit, you handled her a little bit rough for me. So that's why I came the way I came. That's all I'm saying, bro. So yeah, I like to have fun. My man in the bottom left, he really like to have fun. He said a lot of stuff. So my conversation today is going to be
what you just said. I said though, I didn't say that.
I'm gonna go through the clips. I got y'all clipped up. I'm gonna speak through the clips.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm at.
And then let me say this. I don't know what you mean first and foremost about playing the game. That's the first thing.
No, you do the right things. What I'm saying is,
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that part. You talking about playing the game and all that.
No. I'm saying everybody can't be an ad. Let me change the verbiage on that. I'm saying you're cordial.
I am.
And that's proper to do. I'm saying I'm not cordial. Once everybody done said everything out their mouth, after he didn't beat up James Smalls for an hour and a half, he did it respectfully, but he beat the brakes off of James Smalls. So I'm not going to sit here and act like he didn't do that. He did that.
Well, I didn't never say that he didn't do it either.
Right. So I'm just in that. I'm in that mode. I ain't yelling. I ain't screaming. And I just want to get straight to it because I heard both of y'all said I heard it. So I just
all right, well, I want to say this though, but Brother Sincere, you said I owned it. Will you let the crowd know that you also own the fact that you put Professor James Small's image on a thumbnail and you put in quotes, FBA equals CIA operation. And you said initially you thought that you put a question mark. And I said, no, brother, you actually have his thumbnail. You have a thumbnail with his image in it. And in quotes, you have FBI equals CIA agent, as if that is a direct quote. And then you said, first you said, I thought it was a question. I said, no, it wasn't a question mark. Then you said, well, that was my interpretation of what he said. Could you explain that or elaborate on that?
Right. So correct. You were talking about the thumbnail. I was talking about the title. So in the title, I posed it as a question. On the thumbnail, there's no question mark, and I do have it in quotations, which you're correct. It's not a direct quote. He didn't directly say FBA is CIA. He implied it in so many words, and so I had it in quotes, and so that wasn't right and exact to put it in quotes. It wasn't a verbatim quote from him, but that was my interpretation of what he said.
Okay. All right, brother. Brother Dewan, what are your thoughts on everything? Because I did hear Brother Sincere said that you did a reaction video. And so what are your thoughts, brother, about just the conversation that was had? And so just share with us your thoughts, your feelings about it.
Okay, yeah, my feelings on my reaction video. I made, you know, I had people saying that. Of course, they were saying that you didn't react the way they wanted them to, and I didn't say anything about your performance because I know as a host, the job as a host is to step back and allow the conversation to flow.
That's
So I
right.
thought that you did a fantastic job hosting. I didn't throw any shots, you know, where I thought, well, she should have jumped in. Well, she's a host; she's not going to jump in, you know. So the way you played that, I really didn't have anything to say. Basically,
Thank
what I
you.
did have to say is like the brother right here, Ankh, you know, is a strong arguments. Like you just saw, even just now, in this intro,
Mhm,
he's
mhm,
trying to say that
mhm,
I'm saying that we're not African, we're FBA instead.
mhm,
I said none of the sort. I said you got to trace your own genealogy and your own family lineage. There are people who come from Africa. There are people who are indigenous here. Everyone is telling the truth. But what happens is, like, my issue was during the reply,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
you know, Aunt was throwing in star arguments, post hoc ergo propter hoc fallacies. He was throwing in every fallacy you can throw in, and he's throwing a fallacy out there and saying, "I'm going to talk about the fallacy, not what they said." And then the whole situation about us not being able to read, we don't know our history. I can literally name 15 ancestors by name that was here in 1668. So I don't, you know, and the full genealogy and everything to go along with it. You know, Pete,
Mhm.
my ancestor John Smith, PG County, born in Prince George's County in 1640. You know, so when I heard the straw arguments, that was more so my issue when it came to the FBA, because when it comes to FBA, look, I'm the kind of person, Tariq can defend himself. He do a great job defending himself.
Always, he does.
Yeah,
He does.
my job ain't to defend Tariq. My job is to stand up for who I am. And I don't really get into the verbiage FBA versus ADOS versus it, whatever people want to call themselves. Even if people want to call themselves African American, I don't care. You know, it's not my problem. You call yourself whatever you want to call yourself.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But when it comes down to the lineage of FBA, the whole trying to group people as following Tariq Nasheed and Tariq got these people under a spell. No, Tariq ain't got me a spell. One thing I was saying was I was never that much into my family history, you know, 15 years ago. My wife was really on my head about DeWine. You got to get in your family history. DeWine, you got to get in your family history. And so I had already started studying my family history. So when Tariq started with the FBA thing, it was almost like right on time, because I'm thinking like, yo, because I used to call Africa this, Africa that. And then I was like, hold on. My great granddaddy invented the automatic railroad crossing. Every time you get to a stop sign and that arm comes down because the train is coming, my great granddaddy invented that. He got the patent for that. That was stolen by these crackers. You know what I mean? My roots are here. Like he talked about scholarship. One of my cousins wrote a book about my family leaving Northampton County, Virginia in 1835 and moving to Indiana as free Black people. You know, I have long histories of my free Black family, also my enslaved Black family. Now, if someone wants to go all the way back to Africa with their family lineage, that's fine. Again, I have no issues with what nobody says. But when it comes to the FBA thing, people like me, and I'm someone that people come to on my YouTube channel to hear this kind of information, my point of view has always been, look, I've just broke it down to a logical question. Which ancestors are closest to me? The ones I knew or the ones that didn't experience what I experienced? So my point of view on FBA/ADOS or whatever acronym you want to give,
right.
is tuning in to the ancestors that were here. You know what I mean? That were born here, that were raised here, that went under the trauma here. So when I hear someone saying, "Oh, they stupid, they don't know how to read, and they following Tariq Nasheed," that's giving Tariq way too much power. It's like he put on a certain notion, but that notion was something people like me were already on, based on my own family lineage, based on me making a choice. I don't like so far. I can't trace anybody to Africa yet. I'm not saying that Africans don't exist. But I have in my genealogy, I have hundreds of ancestors, hundreds with an S. None are from Africa. All of them here in the United States of America, on paper back to the year 1640. So when I hear, my thing is, you know, I allow people to be who they are, and if people want to claim whatever they want to claim, but when you try to group everybody and throw out a star argument and say that's what these brothers are saying, okay, that works on stupid people. It don't work on me, and that's basically what I was what I was saying in my point of view. But outside of that, people have their own way, and I'm not here to tell anybody how they should think or shouldn't think, or one thought is one ideology is more dominant over the other ideology. People got to follow their own conviction. People got to follow their own lineage, their own paperwork, and their own information.
Well, brother, I think that was beautifully said, and I don't disagree with. And let me say this: I don't disagree with us wanting to trace our family history. In fact, that's why I kind of cut my camera off, and I started my cousin Benny, peace be upon his soul. He traced my family tree. I don't know if you all see Francis Webb tree on both sides. My grandmother, Evelina Francis, and then my grandfather, Charlie Webb, my great-great-great-grandfather, and then who their parents were. So far, we've gotten all the way back to 1804 and 1805. I'm actually getting ready to take a trip down to Charleston, South Carolina, to dig through the records to go beyond 1804 and 1805. So I'm all for, trust me when I tell you, I'm all for honoring, you know, my heritage here. Absolutely. And I also honor my African heritage. I do. I understand ultimately that, you know, and I took a DNA test, and I know we're going to get into that because some of y'all be like, I don't take the DNA test, but I took a DNA test. DNA test came back 96% sub-Saharan African, 73% West African. I'm clear on that. Trace my mitochondrial DNA back to the Bamileke people of Cameroon. My father's Y chromosome goes back to the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Now this is DNA. So far, the African American lineage goes all the way back to 1804 and 1805. And we know that we can trace it further beyond that. I just want to get the records. So I'm all for honoring our ancestors here. We have a culture here that we have created. We have a great history here that we have created. We had one of the greatest, and I don't want to say the greatest, but we have some great ancestors here. We stand on their shoulders, the Harriet Tubmans, the Nat Turners. Come on, you know, the Fred Hamptons, the Assata Shakur, Malcolm X, Dr. King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, Booker T. Washington, Carter G. Woodson. We stand on a great legacy here. So I'm all about that. And I think it's a misconception amongst some of our people that if you subscribe to Pan-Africanists, that you just don't care about Black American history. That is such a misconception about Pan-Africanism. When people say stuff like that, I'm like, y'all don't even really understand what Pan-Africanism is. All right, you really don't understand what it is. So I identify not only as a Black American or African American, but the ideology that I subscribe to is Black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. And I agree with Professor James Small that there is no contradiction. It is no contradiction. But beautifully said, brother Dewan. Brother Ankh, did you want to respond? I see you making some faces. Somebody want to get in? I'm sorry. Who wanted to get in?
I just want to say really quick. I know you want to pass the mic off. I just want to say really quick. What both of y'all just broke down is basically the same thing. And nobody that I know who is serious that speaks on this type of conversation around our lineage and all of that says anything contrary to what either one of y'all just said. I don't know anyone who disagrees with that.
Okay.
I'm with you, Sincere.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I don't agree with what he just said. He just double talk flim this real quick. Basically, what he's saying is that he can't find no ancestors in Africa. That's crazy. First of all, you're not going to find one person like you do in America. There's two different things right there. Since we was part of the transcontinental slave trade, we lost that part right there. We don't know what tribe or clan we came from. We will never recover that. DNA does not specify tribe. So you're not going to find your aunt Kuba the right, from somewhere in Kenya. You're not going to do that. So we should not expect that. What I'm saying is,
you can find records to when they got off the ship.
I didn't cut you off though. What I didn't do was cut you off.
You can find records.
Let's keep it nice and smooth and groovy, because I like to go back and forth like that. But I'm not doing that today. Let me finish my point, and I promise you not to be long-winded, and I'll keep it smooth and groovy. Bet. What I'm saying is that African Americans will carry about 60 to 70% continental African DNA, and then about 20, maybe 30% Europeans, and then a small percentage of the part that you really want to pick up, that Native American. But my fault, I apologize. You're not actually big up in Native American. You have this wild concept about some indigenous Black people that does not exist in the Americas. I'll rest my case right there.
So I have a question. One of my ancestors, his name is Abraham, and on the records in 1715, he was born Abraham, man of color Scott, and he married Joan, a Native American Potawatomi Took, and the Potawatomi tribe goes back for thousands of years here in America. So if I have a man listed as Native as man of color, who none of his roles show anywhere that he was imported, because as a matter of fact, he was born in Prince George's County. No records showing where he came from. It's showing that he was born here in America, and he was married a registered Potawatomi, and his description is man of color. And then when in the Webster's Dictionary of 1828 says American is the copper-colored individuals found here by the Americans, or by the European upon arrival. When Ben Franklin in 1751 say the people of the America are part tawny and swarthy. These things, we're supposed to just discount that? Like, I mean, from both family history and also from written history, the description of an American was copper colored. And so what am I supposed to do with that information?
Dr. Saul wanted to get on that too. He wanted to get in on the action too.
No, I mean, I'm just wondering with that question. I mean, I think when we look at these things, we have to really look at what we're saying here. And I think Ankh is right and exact. But I want to introduce some nuance, and I also want to introduce generalizations versus what is typical. So my question is, do you believe that is the norm, or that is the majority of the population, the people you call FBAs, that is their historical lineage, and they didn't have any type of African, let me say that most people didn't have African ancestry before now?
First off, my question wasn't answered.
No, I'm saying I'm asking you the question.
I want to answer his question. I get your point real quick. So no, Africans that was brought from Africa did marry into some indigenous tribes, and you have every right to pick up your 1.2% ancestor all day, every day. You can go ahead and dig up. You can pick up the toenail. Go ahead. It's all good. Not mad at you.
Hundreds,
your ancestry.
Hundreds
I'm just making a point. I'm trying to show you that the Negro married into some indigenous people family. And I'm saying you're well within your right to do that. You can big up that. But don't get it twisted as if I thought you was trying to say that particular guy was some kind of way. And see, when we hear copper in this space, we know that there's some flim-flammery going. The copper color, like that's full of nonsense right there. So when you say that, it's triggering. So my answer to you is that person that you're talking about married into an indigenous native population having absolutely nothing to do with indigenous Africans. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, when I trace Abraham, man of color, Scott lineage back, I can tell you his parents was born here. I keep going back, and I see people born here in America during the time of the colonial period. No records showing anyone got off any kind of a slave ship. As a matter of fact, Francis, man of color, Scott was never even enslaved. He was a free man in 1715. And so that's why in my family I have so many records, because I have a half on my mom's side. I have so many people who were never enslaved.
Now, I agree with you though.
We all agree
with you on that.
But hold on, I want my question answered. I want you to answer my question. Do you believe that is the majority of people that call themselves FBA's lineage story?
I believe that first. I tried, like I said before, I say everyone got to follow their own. But when I look, I'm answering your question. Yes, I do believe a lot of Black Americans have that story.
I said majority. I said majority. I want to know if that's the norm, the majority.
Less than 400,000 people were imported between 1619 and 1808. Less than 400,000 people were imported. So my opinion, yes, is yes. Most people actually have this story if they actually go back and look up their history.
So you
that's my opinion. I don't know.
Okay,
I can't say for sure.
Okay, so you're under the opinion that most of us here was never on the African continent.
I can't say.
No,
I didn't say never. Look,
no, I'm asking real genuine questions here.
No, I'm giving you a genuine answer.
Yeah, I'm talking to the brother in the right hand corner.
I'm giving you a genuine answer. There were 600. Like we've been Homo sapiens for over 150,000 years, probably longer than that, circumnavigating the globe. I'm sure at some point somebody lived in Africa.
No,
I don't know.
There you go. We got him. There you go. Yeah, you're done with that thing.
And that's where I delineate. You know, I delineate from that mindset. And what I also want to posit, just my opening is
what mindset, Doc. Be clear. Can you clear that up? You said I delineate from the mindset.
I'm coming, Doc. I'm coming. The mindset that FBA is not ideology. And FBA, to me, FBA is an identity. It is an identity with an ideology put behind it. And what do I mean? But I want really to think about this because FBA is a subgroup of African American because you can't separate it. It is a subgroup of African American who has a certain ideological understanding that they were here, all the things he believed, which is not scientifically supported. So all those ideas, and then also on top of that, the part that I disagree with the most is that we can act like we don't know all the throwing your rocks and hiding your hand stuff that's going on. But if you act like that doesn't exist, you can say, well, most of the people that have sane minds don't say these things. Well, if there's a lot of them and they all represent FBA, and if you and they have these same old talking points, which is a part of their ideology, and like Brother Uncle saying, it's slippery until you start asking questions. So you ask the questions and let them. I'm not talking to you, Dr. I'm just saying in general, they'll tell you what they believe.
Let me respond
All I
to that.
said is I don't know when they came. Look, my
your opinion, I respect you. I respect what you said.
Yeah, I respect because they, like you said, they was always here though. You actually have a native population that didn't come from the slave ship. I hope you don't think we're arguing about that, bro.
No, I respect what he said and how you answered with honesty and everything.
Yeah. But that means you don't understand something. I got to get straight to it.
I'm going to be very humble and honest in the fact that as old and long as this earth is, I'm sure I don't know 99% of what happened on earth because it's too much to explain. That's why I tell people that you have to go through your own genealogy, and you have to come at this from your point of view because explaining what's out there, that will require 15,000 PhDs, and I ain't got one. I only got a BA. I ain't got a PA. I ain't got 10,000 PhDs. But I tell you this: during my music research history, the more I go into my research on our Black American music, the more I find common bonds with America than I do Africa. And I mean 20 to 1. Tell you that much.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, can I jump in here?
Please.
Yeah, please do, sincere.
I just want to say, because there's a lot of I guess contention around the idea of Black people being indigenous to the Americas.
Right.
And so I kind of want to throw that argument out. To me, that's a non sequitur. Whether Black people were indigenous or not has nothing to do with whether foundational Black Americans are unique lineage or not. Whether there were Black people, let's just say hypothetically that all the Black people here are only here because they came off of a slave ship at some point. Before the slave ships got here, there were no Black people here, and all of us. Only reason why Black people are in America today is because of the transatlantic slave trade. Let's just say that that's a fact, right? We still had an ethnogenesis from then till now, where we became a new ethnic group, where we're not just the same culture, heritage, historical, experience as the rest of the diaspora. We still are a unique group unto ourselves, and that's all that we're saying when we say FBA. Now, you got some people who do the history and get into the indigenous part and all of that stuff, and that's fine. But I'm saying, regardless to that, we're still a unique ethnic group. And that's all that we're saying.
And sincere love to God, I just want to say this. None of us on this panel disagree with us being a unique ethnic group with a unique culture and a unique history. So and we like nobody's on this platform is disagreeing with that.
That's why I say y'all trolling. Because the experts say exactly what you just said. We are ethnogenesis.
But that's
you get my point, sincere? Sincere. I be thinking y'all be tripping because that's exactly what the scientific data says. That African Americans, right, have different signatures in their DNA than indigenous Africans. So you can take an indigenous African and take an African American, map their genome, and say that's the African American and that's the Nigerian. Just like that, easy work. So why would we, remember Doc, I said earlier, why would we even doing this? They got to be trolling me because I don't care what you call yourself. But when you get into the scientific studies and the pseudo-scientific history of something, that's when I gotta say, hold on, bro, because I'm charged with teaching a generation of African Americans, right? Scientific literacy. Ask about me. That's the leader right there, Dr. Oyamayat. We got a whole group, pseudo killers, dedicated to killing pseudoism. Y'all got in the radar, right? When y'all started the pseudo archaeological history, you know what I'm saying? Like, you jump out there with why don't you just say it? Did you really think that there's an indigenous black people? Just say it. That way, if you say it, we can figure out how much you off and we can fix it. No problem. This ain't thinking you know everything. I'm saying it's in the daggone literature for all, what I say, foundational Black African Americans. And I'm the leader. All right. I'm the leader. Right.
Oh, here we go.
It's there for all of us to have. I'm having fun though. I'm having fun, but come on, bro. It's right there for us, yo.
To be clear, in my opinion, yes, I do believe that there were already black people here. But what I'm saying is that's neither here nor there. And if none of you all disagree with what I said, I don't see what the problem is.
I agree with nuance.
That's really all that anybody is saying.
No, I agree with nuance. See, the problem is I have no issue with any of that, even your belief system. If it, whether or not it's scientifically accurate or not, if you want to believe that African Americans started here, have it. But my thing is, there's other parts of the ideology, and we can't just throw it away like you said, dear brother. We can't just say throw it away. See, again, that's hot. That's hot in your hands and throwing rocks. Not necessarily you, because I do believe that sincere has some sincerity. And the reality, but what I'm saying is there's other people out here, just like my dear brother, and I believe he's sincere in this conversation. What I'm saying is we can't act like these stories aren't being narrated because they're trying to not just delineate, but to say we're not African at all. And there's nothing that you can do to prove that it goes against all scientific thought, all scientific evidence. It goes against everything. So everything that people say, even though you might not say it, they're saying it to build an argument. Nothing is being said that is not political. This is a socio-political movement.
The address on that? Who says that?
Who says what?
Who says that none of us are African? We never ever been to Africa.
There's too many people to say that, brother.
I'll tell you who says that. I'll tell you who says that. Dane Calloway says it. And Dane Calloway feels the same way about FBA that you guys feel about FBA.
Well, right.
How about that?
That's FBA, my homies. I can go call my homies out if I wanted to.
But I'm saying you
I heard Dougie Diamonds even. Let me call Dougie Diamonds out.
All I'm saying is
let me call Dougie Diamonds out. Dougie Diamonds says, look, my grandmother told me I'm from here. This argument happens all day. You know, my great aunt, she said we was here. Like, you got to tell me that
you
have heard this.
What I'm saying is
Cherokee
foolery. You have got to have heard this foolery. And what I'm saying is, look, the only problem I got is you're acting like you don't hear this stupidity.
I know.
And if you act like you don't hear this stupidity, I start the question. We cannot act like, look, Tariq Nasheed, I'm not as kind to Tariq Nasheed because I understand he's a mastermind. And look, we can't act like Tariq Nasheed doesn't say these points and people are parroting it.
I never heard Tariq say that. I never
heard him say what? Never heard him say what?
You guys, that's the part that's part of the reason why I was tripping on my show. I was like, Tariq and Dane Calloway don't get along. You guys don't get along with FBA, but Dane
That's not
Calloway
true.
is the one that says we were never here. Like
No,
most
I'm
people-
telling you.
Dane Calloway is.
I'm saying, but he doesn't like the whole FBA. He feels the same way about FBA and
Who?
the delineation movement
Who you
as
talking
you
about?
guys do.
Who you
Y'all
talking
guys
about?
agree with Dane Calloway, but Dane Calloway says that we've never been here. Us, me, I'm saying I don't know when we came.
Whatever
I'm
it
not saying
takes.
we don't.
What
The
I'm
one I don't
saying
agree.
is-
The one I don't agree with Dane Calloway.
No,
I
not
hope
you.
you
I'm not
okay.
saying these two are saying that
Now-
everything that's said about FBA is everything Dane Calloway says about FBA. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
not
I
true,
don't know.
Juwan.
I don't
Who
listen
are
to
you
Dan
listening
Calloway.
to, homie?
Right.
Juwan, listen, Dan Calloway, we caught him. He run from me 100 miles an hour.
All
Well,
I'm
he
don't
said
want
he
to talk to
be
me.
arguing with-
Listen,
I'm
listen.
saying-
We've been finished his career. I can't believe people be listening to him.
All I am saying is
Same
you
brother.
cannot act as
What's
if
up?
there's no,
Brother's name?
a lot of
Assad?
look. I'm on
It's
the
Assad.
internet all
That's Brother
day.
Assad.
I'm on the internet all day, and what happens is there's variation of this thought, and there's some people that say we've never been here. Some people that say,
they
well,
say,
we had an
that's not right.
ethnogenesis. It's a variety of babble that's going on. I mean, it's a whole language that comes with this identity. My argument is this is an identity with an ideology, is not this pure lineage. And if you act like it isn't, then this is my question. This is what I'm questioning. You cannot say it doesn't have a ideology. It does, and that's why it would never be all African Americans. I mean, people know what African American mean when they say African American anyhow.
Not true.
Well,
That's not true.
well, I do think there's some nuance there, but for the
Islam
most
is
part,
African
Let me-
American.
let me-
for the most part,
Let me
for
speak
the
on
most
that.
part,
Okay.
for the
Let me
most
speak on
part,
that.
when people say African American, they're talking about you, Brother Ankh, Dr. Mayat, and my dear brother on the bottom.
If that's true, then how is it the case? And this is a fact. How is it the case that the guy that just became elected the mayor of New York City, Dami or whatever his name is, how did he get into school registered some type whatever scholarship he had as an African American? He got in on the African American scholarship. How did he do that?
I didn't say that. I said
Ooh.
most people
I
when
can
they
explain
think
it.
about,
I can explain it.
but when most people think about,
The reason why
no, that's a different argument. That's a different argument. What I am
Yeah.
saying is,
it kills what you just said. You just said it's already understood what an African American is.
no.
But
I
yet-
said,
hold on.
hold up,
Hold on,
clarify.
hold
Hold on. Let me talk. I said most people. I said most. Let's qualify this. I said when most people hear the term African American, they think of you.
Okay, and that's how the finesse works, though. Because a lot of times when we all this time when we heard the term African American, we thought they was talking about us. We didn't think they was talking about Mandami.
Now
We
let's
didn't think-
let's
we didn't
debate
think-
that point though.
Elon Musk.
Right.
Yeah,
We
right.
didn't think that all these other people were included.
Well, let's debate
And so
that point
hold on,
first though.
Hold on, let me explain. So
Mhm.
this is how we came to the delineation. This is how we came to getting real specific about who we're talking about. This is why the term
Are
foundational
you debating my argument?
Hold on. This is how
No.
the
Are you
term
debating my argument?
foundational-
Debate my argument, then go on and teach. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's
Let
what
me
I'm
talk-
saying. You're saying something for nothing. Are you saying that most people who think about African American, the term African American, don't think about you? You got to debate the argument.
I'm thinking this is about business. This ain't about
Right.
thinking.
Oh, okay, let me clear this up real quick. Let me clear this up. Let me clear this up real quick. The mayor from New York City
got to cosplay as us under the term African American.
No, hold on for a minute.
He
The
doesn't
mayor,
come from our lineage.
They
Hold
will
on,
then
hold on.
at FBA.
hold on for a minute. The mayor from New York City, right? Or let's just take a Nigerian, right?
Mhm.
Basically, they could never ethnically be an African American, and nobody debates that. I'm gonna say it again. Ethnically, they do not have shared experiences, and they did not come by way of the slave trade. This is
Based
an
on the affirmative
academic.
action document.
This is in academics. So anybody that's going to give you reparations, they know this. Now, in a broad sense, second generation, right? If they so choose, right, they can consider themselves Nigerian American, Black American, or African American. But ethnically, I'm gonna say this it's got to be important. They can never be considered African Americans, and nobody's that crazy to consider them that. I think that's an important distinction here, and I never hear y'all say that.
Let me ask you a question, based on what you just said. Are you
Yeah, that's
saying?
real.
I just want to be clear that I'm understanding you correctly.
Right.
Are you saying if tomorrow they said, okay, we're going to give reparations to African Americans?
That's right.
Are you saying if they did that tomorrow,
Right.
then Babatunde wouldn't be qualified under that term right there?
They're going to make you submit your DNA, and your DNA is going to.
Everybody's DNA says the same thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The way I get feelings.
You cut me off. You cut me off. You're gonna miss the beautiful thing right here.
I'll go ahead. I want to hear this beautiful
I
thing.
am telling you, if I had trillions of dollars to give African Americans, I don't give a damn who call themselves African Americans. I got the trillions of dollars. I'm gonna use the available historical information, couple it with genetics, and that's how you will get paid. So you can run around here, really a Nigerian American, your second generation kids are we African American culture, hip hop. So what? Ethnically, you will never be an African American because your ancestors did not go through the transcontinental slave trade that put you in America. Your genetics say that you're from Nigeria. We can see it right here in the DNA. DNA talks and bullshit walk. That's why I said y'all be playing with us. Y'all fooling us, man.
Hey, sincere,
Go ahead, Dewan.
Hey, sincere, look, and I get it, but here's the issue. Here's the issue. Here's the issue.
You know we can actually do that, Dewan.
Here's the issue. You ain't the one passing the money out. When it comes down to it, the government,
right,
people who will be in charge of this, you have to have it written in plain sight. Black people said that if we have the same conversation in 1967 and we hear the term minority or people of color, as of 1967, we the only minorities. We the only people of color. So of course that's coming to us. But we realized 2-3 generations later, minority men, white women were able to get it, midgets were able to get it, handicapped people, and anyone is back. So
veterans, disability.
When it comes down to it, all we're saying with delineation is we want it on paper because guess what? Ankh ain't gonna be the one in control of handing out a damn thing. The people in control of handing things out, they know what it is. But every time in the past, going back to the civil rights movement of 1868, when they made benefits the 13, 14 to 50 men for black people, the Supreme Court said, oh, corporations can use it. Every time from 1868 to 1968 to right now, whenever they do something, if things are not spelled out in fine detail in that to the letter of the law, if it's just something that we all feel, we all think, what I would do, when it happens to that, the government comes in and be like, okay, yeah, that's what you do? Well, I'm not you. Come on, everybody else, and get some of these benefits.
So you didn't hear what I was saying then? So you didn't understand what I said. Let me say it again.
What you said. Don't flip it.
No. So Dewan, what did he say? What did he say?
No, Dewan didn't understand what I said. Because
he said, if I
we just heard you.
The whole point I'm saying is it ain't about you.
You don't have to say it again. We heard you.
You asked me.
No, I asked him to explain. What did he hear?
Again?
No, what did he hear from you? Because you said, Dewan, you don't understand.
Yeah, he explained.
I'm giving him an opportunity to say what he thought.
Yeah, do it again, Dewan, so we can really get, because you're in a pickle right now. Go ahead.
You said what I would do. We all know what an African American is. We all know that we have to go to the DNA. You said DNA, right? You said we have to go to the paperwork, right? One thing Sincere and people in the FBA understand is that in order for the government to do it, you got to have that spelled out before it gets put into action. You got to specifically state who gets what. If there's any gray area, the people that's handing out the money, which are not you, they're going to take whatever caveat they can take to give to someone else. The reason why we have handicapped stalls is because that was civil rights money that was meant for black people. Title IX exists, women's athletics, because that was civil rights money meant for black people. But since it wasn't spelled out, since it was suggested minorities, people of color, when the federal money went to the states got, we learned this from Dr. Carl Anderson, who wrote the bill, by the way, that the states got to choose who get the money. So since it was not specifically talked about the Negro, Black American who was here, since it was just a caveat, minority or people of colors, midgets, handicapped people, women, people from Nigeria, people from Tonga, people from across the world got what my grandparents fought for me.
Like I said, you didn't understand what I said. Because
But
I
now
never
you
said
changed
if it
what you
was
said.
me.
That's
What
I'm gonna change what I said real quick, but go ahead.
What I said was, and I used myself as an example, meaning I am the government with trillions of dollars. Let me put it this way. I have trillions of dollars. I'm not just giving my trillions of dollars away, which is not the same about what you're talking about.
They give trillions of dollars away every day.
Not what we listen. What I'm saying is they're going to have a method for calculating who's who. They have it. In the 60s, they didn't have that. That's not the same conversation with minorities and women and all that. You conflating the two items. That's a whole different thing. Where I'm from, we call that flim-flamming. So I want to stay right on the course of things. I am telling you that DNA has already made the distinction between a continental African and an African that went through the slave trade and developed the culture that we now call African American. It's already in your DNA. The DNA speaks. Now, my point is, let's just say they decide to give it to everybody. Then at that point, I ain't snitching. I don't care. Because if you really want to talk about it, colonial powers put destruction on Africa and Africans everywhere. So then the point would be, why the hell would you care what some white people did with their money? If they decide to pay everybody, why would you even care? They ain't taking no money off your plate. There's these two parts I don't understand. So listen, man, they broke law.
Yeah, they did.
They broke law, bro. Right? Listen, they kidnapped us first. You got to kidnap a person to enslave them, which is illegal. Kidnapping is illegal in the Bible. Kidnapping is illegal in Rome and Greece. Slavery is legal in the Bible, and slavery is legal in Rome, and slavery is legal everywhere. So they kidnapped us illegally, then they enslaved us, right? They made us a part of the largest forced migration, okay? We the gift that keeps giving, all right? We are the foundation, see, you hear that word? Of the global economy. And everybody knows this, bro. You don't need a master's degree to recognize that African Americans are FBA. So whenever you say FBA, you're talking about the damn African Americans. Whenever you talk about ethnogenesis, you're talking about African Americans, bro. Like, y'all got to be trolling me. So I don't care if other Africans that wasn't in America get some bread from some robbers. Who cares about that, bro? Now, if you think you're gonna get a less money, okay, then please look at our DNA. So y'all really have no argument here. Everything that you think you need, we already got it, bro. You act like you're dealing with people who don't use science. They do, bro. They're not gonna just sit around and give away $1 trillion. You tried to play the whole quote unquote civil rights era and nah, bro. They're not giving nobody nothing, bro. They're gonna make sure that you are part of the ethnic group that was enslaved and brought to America that mixed with Europeans and some daggone Native Americans, which are not black. I ain't gonna let y'all run tonight. Stay right there, bro.
What you're saying is you're literally going against what they actually do. Like, name the time that they just gave out $1 trillion in PPP loans and didn't verify who they gave it to.
And then why would you care?
Well, the reality is it still doesn't make sense, though. It still doesn't make sense because what makes you believe just because we name ourselves FBA, they're going to then verify it in?
Right, crazy.
What you're saying, like if they don't verify it, doesn't matter what name an African from the continent come say I'm FBA.
Do it matter?
They're not going to verify it.
I'm sorry. And look, in legal paperwork, names matter. Y'all can talk all the hotel battle you want.
Hold on, names do matter, but names do matter. But utilizing what you're saying, what I'm saying is people can then say they are something else if there's not going to be a verification.
And you're right. And here's
just like the natives had to verify, they had to prove. So what? But
they got $5. They have $5. It became $5 Indians. They didn't have to prove. They did not have to prove.
No, that's one little incident. You conflate that whole situation.
Decades of incidents. That happened over a period of decades.
Okay, all right. You know what I mean. But look, check it out. There still had to be verification. So look, check this out. Verification. A name change is not going to change it, bro.
I thought this was going to be I thought this was going to be something.
Oh my God!
I thought it was going to be something else too, because my argument is not none of this. My argument is that FBA is a identity with an ideology, with all types of talking points.
But brother,
and misinformation.
all of the talking points that you say you're against, that you attribute to Tariq Nasheed, and I'm not here to defend Tariq, but all of the talking points that you attribute to him, those are Dane Calloway's talking points.
No. Tariq Nasheed is the tetherer. He's the one who talks about ethnogenesis. He's the one who talks about.
What is a tether?
Let's do the hairline test. He's the one who said
those are jokes. What is a tether? What is a tether?
Bro, do you understand those jokes are political?
What is a tether?
Do you understand those jokes are political?
What is a tether?
Bro, I know what it is.
What is it? What is it?
From what I looked at and heard from your ideas, one who is not from this country, who is benefiting from the what? You say no?
Go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, brother Dewan said,
who is benefiting off of what Dewan is saying African would do or Caribbean would do and get our benefits and things of that nature. One who will cosplay as an African American or FBA.
It's almost like you trying to delegate and save white people money or something. Am I tripping here, yo? It's like y'all trying to save white people money.
Dewan was saying no, then he said yes. So
he go ahead, Dewan. So what part did he get wrong?
Dewan, are you trying to save white people money or something, yo?
But I want to answer this question.
Yeah, let him answer.
I mean, is it me, yo? I'm sitting here listening. They fighting over white people money.
Hey, brother, the main character syndrome got to stop. It's not about you. We trying to have a discussion.
It's about me. It's about what I'm saying. Y'all sitting up here trying to save white people money.
I want to answer that.
Yeah, answer that question. Why you save white people money? Make sure you save them some money.
I want to answer that brother's question. Strong arguments don't work with me. But I want to answer that brother's question. And no, you're right. I did say no at first, but no, the way he ended it, he was 100% right when he said that a tether is somebody that's trying to tether on to and cosplay Black Americans to get Black American benefits. The issue is, I wouldn't even mind them doing that if they brought the money back into the community, but they send it back overseas. We see what's going on with Essence Magazine. They hire other Africans, not Black Americans, but they use our struggle, our plight, our complaint, and then they get into colleges off of this, like Candace Owens did. They get into colleges off of this. They get jobs off of this for the states where affirmative action still exists. So this is a policy issue. Like, I ain't got no issue with, like, personally with Africans or Caribbeans or anybody else. But policy wise, not all immigrants. All immigrants are not tethers.
Right.
People who act in this way, act Black, to go ahead and take from Black and then go ahead and say, I'm not Black when something good happens. That's a tether. People who just from another country who are down, who just about their business and make, I ain't got no problem with them.
You know, the important part that was left out, is that they have anti-Black American sentiments.
Bingo.
They're very anti-Black American while assuming our identity in order to obtain whatever benefits that may be available. And the problem with you talking about we trying to save white people some money, no, we can't allow our justice claim to get diluted. If you allow Black immigrants to get in, that opens the door for all immigrants to get in. Why not? Just give it to everybody. And then the whole justice claim gets diluted, and then we never get repaired. The purpose of reparations is to be made whole. We never get made whole if we are not specific. We're the ones that had the specific harm. So we're the ones that need the exclusive specific repair. Yeah, that's the thing.
I think y'all still just y'all.
Hold on, Asar. So they playing with us right now, yo. We just told them that there are scientific studies that can clearly show the difference between what they call a tether and an African American. Did I not say that?
You playing with us, brother?
Did I not say that? Dr. Miyai.
Yeah, you did. That's what you said.
So then why is everybody ignoring the elephant in the damn room?
You just lied.
The elephant in the room, man.
It's not a lie.
You just told half truth.
All you gotta do is do your
DNA. Half truth.
What he did was,
to us, brother.
What he did was he used the term tether as if it applies to all non-FBA.
I wanted to have fun.
Sincere. Let me say this. These are the wrong two. These two brothers, I'll be honest with you. These two brothers are not the most of the FBA people you see out here. They are not. They are not. I've
Nah,
talked
they,
to them.
nah, they scamming.
No,
It is them.
These are not
It is
the
them.
majority.
Are we
You,
scamming?
look, Sensei, I think
Yeah,
you
you
partly kind of Pan-Africanist too. Are you not?
Pan-Africanist? No, I'm not.
Okay. Do you love black people around the world?
Yes, I do.
Do you think we should come together?
I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's practical though.
But I mean, do you think we should come together ideally?
Ideally, yes.
Ideologically, just like FBA is an ideal. Ideally, I agree with you about
great.
FBA.
That would be
Ideally, I agree with you about FBA.
I know. You just gotta seem to have a problem, but you got a bug in your ass.
I have a problem with what you don't. I think people don't see. See, as one who studied the mind and psychology and cults and all this type of thing, there are. What I
want to say to you, brother. What I want to say to you,
me,
you, Asar. What I want to say to you, brother.
I wasn't finished.
Okay, I'm sorry. My part. That you're right.
What I was saying was there are thoughts that are in people's minds that cause their divisiveness here that is unnecessary. Although you might say it's not everybody, it is metastasified. What's the word? What's the word, y'all? Metastasizing. Yeah, it is. And if you can you even acknowledge that?
What's being divided? You said divisiveness. What's being divided?
Brother, look in the chat. Look, I didn't even look at the chat yet. I guarantee you the chat. Read the chat. Read the chat.
Forget about the chat. What's being divided? What's being divided by our?
Look, hold on, man. I'm never gonna let y'all get away with this.
Hold on.
Why do we keep saying that there are not scientific tools that can separate an indigenous Nigerian or an indigenous West African from an African American? You played the joke. You start talking about the 60s when the human genome wasn't even mapped out yet. All that was flim flam because it took us away from what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is you acting like that somebody's going to spend $1 trillion won't use tools that will separate and will save them some damn money. That is craziness, bro. I am telling you that there are tools right now. Have you taken a DNA test? Watch this. Have you taken a DNA test yet?
Yeah.
Dewan?
Yes.
Okay. Put it up. I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
I don't trust you, so why would I show you my
Definitely
shit?
don't trust you.
Brother Dewan, what did your DNA test?
How about you, sister? Have you taken a DNA test?
Hold on. Let him answer.
Hold on. I'm running. No. I don't want to hit Dewan because he clowning us. Because now he didn't took a DNA test, so now he trolling, so he know what it is, but he playing. Now, sincere, have you taken a DNA test?
Brother Dewan, what did you say? Brother Dewan, what did
you say? Watch this. Hold
on. Wait, man. Wait.
Get mad when I clap back. I told you wouldn't gonna be able
to. on the road show. Do not let him off the road. He's gonna flip flame.
What did it say? What did it say, Dewan?
Watch, he gonna flip flame. Watch.
What's that?
What did your DNA test say? Yes, when you took it.
I have people from Nigeria, from Morocco, from Native America, and from Europe.
So you had a combination
of that, though. I got a question about that.
You did 23. Hold on, Sensei. So you did 23andMe, Brother Dewan?
I did Ancestry, and I also did Ancestry genealogy, and I got paperwork. You know, I could actually show you.
You show the DNA test.
I could actually. I'm not. Again, I don't trust you.
You ain't supposed to.
I could show you where my family lived in Middle Essex, England, in the 1505.
See what I'm saying, man?
But you missed something, You missed something, Dewan. It also tells you where your people come from here in the United States. Where do your people come from? That's what Unc is saying. Unc is saying that it can trace your lineage even here. I'm from the people of the Virginian African Americans.
The Virginia and also the Powhatan in Michigan.
No, I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about you, but I'm talking about me.
That's the original Canadian tribe, bro. You ain't no daggone Canadian.
There was no Canadian. There was no Canada back then, brother.
You know what I mean. The geographical reason it's called Canadian is the tribe you just said.
There was no Canada in the 1600s when I got my DNA.
So you saying you don't know what I'm saying, though? You trying to say you don't know what I'm saying now? The tribe you just mentioned is the first tribe that inhabited that area, bro.
Brother, they came from the Pennsylvania area. Your main character syndrome is getting you in trouble, man. I'm just trying to say things.
I'm gonna play this clip. Hey, Doc, I told you he was gonna flim flam, right?
Yeah, but Sincere, did you take a DNA test?
I did not.
Okay, all right. That's all right.
But let's get it straight. Unc is accurate. It told you where your people are from. That can be done. You can call yourself whatever and take the test and prove that your people are from the United States.
Here's the whole thing about it. You're trying to get us caught up in, well, I said the DNA. Look, okay, I will give you all the DNA you want to give.
Thank you.
You can have everything.
Thank you.
I'm dealing with when I come here, because I was here as far as California reparations. I was here from day one. I drove to Sacramento. You know what I mean? I'm at the rallies in the Mer Park. I'm at the rallies at Cal State Northridge, my alma mater. And so I'm here. So I'm talking about how the DNA's fine. How does this place function? How it functions is wherever the money's going to go, that has to be explicitly written out before any check is cut. And when in the history of the United States, when you leave ambiguity when it comes to Black Americans, they find a way to send it everywhere but to us. And they've had a track record of doing this for well over 100 years, 170 years now. And so what we're saying is to prevent the United States from United Statesing is to have it very explicitly cleared out before any check is cut. And how do you trace an FBA? You trace an FBA who can trace their lineage. First off, they have to currently identify as Black. And if they can trace their lineage to the 1870s, census, most of us can, those would be the people allocated the money. Simple.
You can do all of that without even changing the name. You can write all that out. And that
why is y'all sitting around here playing, man?
You can write all of that without
sitting here playing with us, man.
You can write all of that out.
If y'all got
trolling,
clearly, you can write all. Can write all of that out without changing your name?
Can you share my screen, Doc? I'm tired of playing with you.
Hold on. California, we did write it out without changing the name.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That is the thing. We're talking about FBA.
Let me tell you what you're saying. This is what you're saying. You playing now. This is what you're saying. You said this.
Now I'm clowning.
Yeah, here you go.
You can do all that without changing the name.
This how I know it's all foolery. They can't defend this.
You heard your brother say
so that's
you
one
can do
thing
all
y'all
of that
step away from.
Your name.
Man, you gotta let me talk.
Hey, you gotta let it. Yeah, Doctor. I'm sorry.
He's playing it. I'm playing in their own words. I'm tired of playing now. Know what everybody said. Nah, we ain't saying.
I'll come right off your energy, pardon.
He's sitting up here, no daggone well. Close it out with a statement. Here you go. This how I know it's all foolery. They can't defend this. So that's one thing y'all gonna have to step away from. Yeah, you may play with the word FBA.
Listen to this.
But I'd be damned if you ain't gonna step away from acting like the first people in America was Black people. That's one thing. We share my screen.
He's saying that the first Black people in America. He's saying that it's pseudoscience, saying that the first Black people in America weren't Black. Well, who were they then? Are you gonna answer? Does this dude not know that Black people were across the planet from day one? Like, I stand by that. This book by David Imhotep is a good one. The First Americans are Africans.
Not a good book.
It's a lot of these good books you can get. Talk about Black folks in America. You know, you got
Ivan Van Sertima.
Dr. Clyde Winters, the world history of Black race, and the Black that was all across the planet, and even on the back cover here in North America. You know, like it's a lot of places you can go. His whole point of view is Black Americans, Black people, dark-skinned people weren't here in America. This nigga really thinks the Indians was here, right? He really thinks the Indians are like Charleston Heston. Okay.
All right, let me move to the next clip. I'm getting both of them at the same time. We're gonna sit here and play around. This is crazy. I'm not doing this, man. I ain't got time for this, man.
I just said the same thing earlier.
Nah, let me go to the next clip. Here goes sincere. Same nonsense.
We went through a whole breeding process, y'all. Mind you, you know, even if you want to go with the story of we all was brought here on slave ships from Africa, we know that that's not true. We know that the majority of us was already here, and there was a small number of people that came to the United States of America off of
who was sent different places.
Right. But the ones that came here, a very small number. But even if we was to go with the popular false narrative that Black people are only here in America because we were brought here on slave ships. That's the popular false narrative. Even if we was to go with that, when you study the history, even after the transatlantic slave trade stopped, they were still breeding niggas over here. They had breeding farms over here.
Right. Right.
Language was erased. Culture was erased. Your entire identity was erased from you.
It wasn't. You can't.
So you wiped the slate clean.
So see now the dad gonna rub and hit the road. I don't feel like hearing all that.
You just
In
repeat
your
what I said
heart,
from the
and
start.
in your hold on, in your heart, both of y'all too, in your mind, right? You deny that your ancestors came from Africa. You said it right out your mouth. The supposed story of black
That's
people.
supposed to talk
Hold, let me
fallacy,
finish, bro. I don't know. I don't
You're
understand
too
how
smart,
white
You're
people
too
talk
smart
like
for
this.
fallacies.
I don't understand none of that.
Say this. You
Let me
say
finish my point. Let me finish my point. I don't understand because I know you're misusing it. I don't trust your ability
say
to
this.
apply
You
that
say
stuff right. I'm saying that these two individuals right here. First of all, I'm gonna make a call. We call it the litmus test. Do y'all brothers support vaccinations? That's a litmus test.
Here comes another strong argument because you don't know.
No. I just want to ask you a question. I want to see where you at. Dewan, do you support African American community getting vaccinated for their health and safety?
Can we stick to?
I asked you a question.
No, I'm not going to go for that.
Thank you. How about you, Sincere? You've answered. How about you, Sincere? Watch this, Sincere. You support the African American community getting vaccinated? It's a litmus test around here.
It's a non sequitur, sir.
Since y'all
See what I'm saying? Hey, so Dr. Miyat, we
y'all
already
like
know that
background
we
and
dealing with
degrees,
some
I'm using
anti-scientific
communication
people.
studies. I know when I'm dealing with a strong
Hey,
argument.
Dr.
I'm
Miyat,
not
you hear my
going-
point, right? See, they running. Because if I didn't support vaccinations, I was like, hell no, I don't support that. But they running. And guess what? They're not going to tell us the truth. I had to force them clips in there so that we know that we're talking to two people that vividly disagree with the slave trade. Point blank. Now you calling for help, Dr. Miyat? She can't help you now, bro. Yeah.
All right, let me. I do want to respond, brothers. I do want to respond to the clip. I do want to respond to the clip. I say now, then when I start muting, why should you mute me out? Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. First of all, I'm laughing at Brother Dewan. Brother Dewan matches Ankh's energy. They match each other energy, Dr. Assad. That's why I'm laughing at both of them. They both crack jokes. They both make faces. They both match each other's energy. But anyway, I wanted to say this. I just wanted to say this. Sincere, when you said the slate was wiped clean, brother, that you don't wipe. When people come from cultures and they go somewhere, you don't wipe the slate clean. You carry your culture with you. You carry your language with you.
Facts.
You carry your ways of living with you. So when you said they just wiped the slate clean as if we just was, you would actually agree there was this guy who went viral a while ago because he misrepresented the work of Dr. Joy DeGruy. And he said that, Black Americans, he was talking about us. He said, we're like Frankensteins. He said, white people put us together because when we got over here, we ain't have no culture. We were totally severed from Africa. That's not true, brother. That's not the way culture works. If I take you, Sincere Love to God, and I drop you off in Australia right now, right? You're going to take with you your identity, your culture, and your language, and you're going to do the best you can to survive in your new environment. And that is what happened to our African ancestors who did come over. It was no slate that was wiped clean, brother. That's why you have inside of our culture a lot of Africanisms, whether people want to agree with it or not. You do have Africanisms. Even people who study Black English, what they call it, the Black American dialect, we pronounce certain words as a result of the African languages that we spoke prior to coming over here. So we don't even speak English the way an Englishman or woman speaks it because of the dialects, because of our African languages that we brought with us. And so I just wanted to say that was the pushback that I would have given you on that clip. And
Let me
then,
disagree with you, though.
well, you can disagree. People take their culture with you. I mean, you can disagree with that fact all you want, but the reality is, if I take you over to Australia, you're going to take your culture with you. It's not going to be swiped clean. That's the first thing I wanted to say. Another thing I wanted to say, I was listening to Brother Dewan talking. Brother Dewan, what was your stat you threw out? You said only 400,000 people were brought to the United States, or who came straight directly from Africa to here, correct? You say roughly about 400,000. I want to say this. They really don't know what the numbers are. But a lot of times when people talk about the transatlantic slave trade, they don't talk about the transshipment trade. Brother Dewan, are you familiar with the transshipment trade that took place? Okay, so a lot of people would just say, "Oh, a lot of ships didn't go directly from Africa to the 13 colonies or to America." Yeah, a lot of people forget about the transshipment trade. There were a lot of ships that went directly from Africa to the Caribbean, and then from the Caribbean came to the United States.
Yes.
But people forget that part. They just focus on ships going from the United States or the 13 colonies back and forth to Africa. Ships rarely left the United States and went to the 13 colonies and went to Africa. Most of the enslaved Africans did come up through the Caribbean. If you go to Charleston, South Carolina, shout out to Brother Charles down there. He does wonderful tours. A lot of people from Barbados came in through South Carolina. A lot of people from South Carolina who came into the Carolinas, they come from Barbados. So I just want to put that out there, because a lot of people will, when they talk about the transatlantic slave trade, they fail to talk about the transshipment trade that took place. A lot of our ancestors came out of Jamaica, Barbados, St. Martinique, and also St. Dominic. But a lot of people don't talk about that part of the transatlantic slave trade. Go ahead, brother.
I want to make one point with that. I agree with that, but another part that a huge omission that's left out is the intracontinental slave trade.
Yeah.
When the Louisiana Purchase happened, because before America was on a tobacco system during the 13 colonies on the East Coast. When the Louisiana Purchase happened and cotton and became king, you can find books like Up on These Shores, where you see hundreds of thousands of black people that were captured as prisoners of war that were marched down from the Midwest. That Charleston, Carolina was a huge port to ship people around the Horn of Florida to New Orleans to supply the new demand. Over 400,000 people came from the Carolinas, and we're talking about 1815, 1810, 1820. They were shipped around the Horn to North
Where they
Carolina,
come from, though?
to Louisiana.
Yeah.
You also
Where they come from?
You also got people like Solomon. I'll give you an example. Solomon Northup.
Yeah,
Solomon
Northup. Yeah. Solomon
Northup. Yeah.
Remember they made the story about him 12 years a slave.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
He was one of thousands, because one of the major industries during that time for poor white people, the slave patrols, was to capture free people. Because one thing I found in my book, again written by my family, when my family moved to from North Carolina to Indiana,
put it all the way up there. We want to see it.
When they moved from Indiana from North Carolina to Indiana in 1835, what they did was they moved within Amish country, and the Amish protected them, because a major trade during that time was for these rednecks to go around and capture free natives, free black folks minding their own black ass business, capturing them and then selling them downriver to slavery.
Oh yeah,
that was a major industry.
Yeah, that wasn't me. So like, I agree with you. You had the transshipment, and you also had the intercontinental.
What point does that make?
Let me ask you, Doc. Where did those people come from? Did he talk about?
What point does that make, though?
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about
where my family came from.
I'm talking about Africa. They were African.
Yeah.
Why is he running from that point?
That's what I'm
He's not
saying.
saying that.
That point was to deflect and derail you from the real argument that we come from Africa.
So you don't forget the fact, like, okay, so I brought up a fact. That's to derail you.
No. Come on, bro. Listen.
They were enslaved Africans.
Did they come from Africa? Yes or no?
They weren't enslaved. Like these people.
No, did they come from Africa?
Huh?
Did they come from Africa?
No, this is the fact. No, they didn't.
Right.
He's talking about the free. He's talking about the free. He's talking about the free blacks that would re-enslave and recapture.
I know their
when
names.
I was talking about.
Where did the free blacks come from, Doc?
Africa.
They were here.
No, see that? See, you double talk.
I don't know their names.
Yeah, he double talk.
See, he double talk.
Right now, I'm trying to put
Really?
Yeah,
we're gonna stay right. Hey, we're gonna keep them right there. We're not gonna move. I'm not moving off that point, brother. You scamming out intellectual real estate right now. You're sitting there co-signing that nonsense. You set out your mouth the day Doc mentioned the intercontinental slave trade, all these words y'all was talking about, and we realized that they was actually, I don't give a damn if they was free, not free. They come from Africa. You say no. Can you please explain to us where the hell they come from then? And why can we go back to your initial argument?
You know my family, my brother, you prove it.
No, man. See, come on.
You can. Look, going back to what I was saying earlier, because I know brother talking about psychological stuff and all that. Well, my background, my minor was in cultural anthropology. And in cultural anthropology, when I went to go to my professors and say something comes from something, I have to give at least 5 points of reference of evidence, physical evidence, linguistic evidence. I gotta prove it. I can't just say this is what I feel. I gotta show it. And it's okay. I'm not here to argue that people didn't come from Africa at some time. I said I don't know when. They could have came from Africa 10,000 years ago.
There's more than 5 references that can prove that they came from Africa.
Oh yeah,
you can't prove that they did.
You don't have probably real strong references that can support what you're saying.
Right? Why you keep doing that?
Where's your evidence? No, you're trying to talk about my family. Where's your evidence?
No,
I'm not talking about your family, bro.
Brother,
in America.
Right, and Brother Dewan, as a cultural, you say your background is cultural anthropology. As for that background,
let
me ask you this. So, if that's your background, do you agree with Sincere's statement that when a people go somewhere else, that they are stripped of their identity and culture, and the slate is run the white clean?
Scientifically, when a group of people have been in a new land for more than 3 generations, they're now part of that place, and they've developed something new.
Who told you that?
Because my mind is in cultural anthropology. That's what I've been studying the whole time. What I'm saying is this: I didn't course you with your psychology. Let me. So what I'm saying is this: because at the end of the day, culture is your response to your immediate environment. You develop culture to deal with your immediate environment. If you're in the jungle, you're going to have a different culture than someone in the desert. And if you come from a jungle environment and you move to a desert environment, if you keep the jungle culture, you're not going to survive in the desert environment.
It evolves. Culture evolves. I agree with that. But evolving is different from wiping the slate clean.
No, I didn't say
that's different. No, I know you didn't say that, Brother Dewan.
That was her question.
What I was saying was when people, and I answered it by saying when people are in a new location, a new geographic place, they become that within. Science says 2 generations. I like to say 3 to 4, but they say 2. So okay, whatever. That's splitting hairs. My family, I can count at least just on paper 18 generations in the United States of America. So when it comes to culture, the culture is something that my family went through a few different cultures here in the United States of America, and that's the most immediate culture, and that culture is in response to this environment. If I was still holding on to something from 10,000 years ago, you know what I'd be right now? Dead, because it wouldn't work for this environment. Not saying one culture is superior to the other. What I'm saying is what the Black American did during the Renaissance period 100 years ago was go through that, going back to Sincere's word, ethnogenesis, to develop this new culture that we have. And the evidence is this. And you could point to the music.
What? Ethnogenesis.
Ethnogenesis.
You don't believe that.
And don't tell me what I believe.
You don't.
So what I was saying,
ethnogenesis.
You have Africans come, if there was whatever ties exist, when Africans were to come here, we would have common bonds. Let me give you an example. In Black American music, we count on the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is something that's indigenous to the North American continent here. In Africa, when they count 1, 2, 3, 4. Or they count on the quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. We don't even count the same when it comes to our music. We don't use the same scale. We don't use the same.
The answer is no, bro. Look. You do a lot.
Get back to the 5,000 people that you talk about.
What are you saying?
You claim don't come from Africa.
Disappear. It evolves. It mutates. Whatever word you want to use.
Don't let them get off that point.
Still vestiges of the culture does not go away. But go ahead, brother. I'm just saying.
He made a point about some free people getting snatched up down the coast. Can you explain that again for us? Because we got you right there, and I don't want to move. What about them people that you claim wasn't coming from Africa, that we all know came from Africa? What about the free people you talked about? And it was what? And when was that?
In the 1800s in Ohio.
And what happened? What happened?
Rikers Island was literally created as a slave catching place.
For who? Native American population or the population that came from Africa that had to get over here some kind of way?
For the copper colored individuals that was here, what they would do is that's where okay, you did scholarship. Let's go into it. In Louisiana, to show that there were already dark-skinned people here. In order to buy yourself freedom in Louisiana, if you can get yourself freedom based off the texture of your hair, because they oftentimes couldn't tell the difference because the skin tone was the same. So they would look at the hair to decide whether one belongs enslaved or not enslaved. It's all kinds of nuance that went on. Prisoners of war, the Yamasee Wars, the Mississippian Wars. You have all kinds of stuff that happened on this land that's very deep and it goes back very far. But I tell you one thing.
Who was it, brother? Who was it? Who was it? Answer quick. Look, you go.
I answered already. I said Mississippi Wars. I answered.
Unc said earlier, and he caught it because you said you said some slick stuff earlier. You said the Native Black Americans, right? So so you do say things in a way that kind of confuse people, throw people off. So who was it? Who were these people? That is his question, not the whole history lesson.
The copper-covered individuals.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Who are they?
The copper-colored individuals that were discovered. There was no one people. There were hundreds of tribes here. What are y'all talking about?
That don't got nothing to do with the African Americans, though.
It's hundreds of tribes here.
They don't got nothing to do with the FBA.
It got plenty to do with the FBA.
It does not. It absolutely does not.
Here.
So let's change the conversation. Let's talk about the ethnogenesis. Doc, can you please explain to us what an ethnogenesis is, please? And I'm gonna share my screen because I'm tired of playing this wild ring around the rosy, acting like you don't understand what you're saying.
For so long, I'm saying you got energy.
No, I don't got no energy for this. Not like this. And sincere, I'm sorry. Did you want to get something off? Yeah. What do you have to say? Because you think that it was black people here already. We got you on that.
But let me say this. Let me say this. There are some folks who think that, and I keep hearing dark skin, the skin color, the skin. A lot of that was happening, especially if you watched the first like 45 minutes of American Maroon. A lot of things, the dark skin, you see the skin, the skin. Dark skin does not equal us. Just because you see a dark skinned person, that does not mean it's you. Okay, right. It doesn't mean that it's you and your people. We gotta move beyond skin color, right? Mm-hmm. Because you got people that may share the same skin color as you, but they're not your kinfolk, And so I just want to put that out there because we see somebody with brown skin. Oh, that's us. We see somebody with woolly hair. That's us. No, it may not be you. Like
I agree with that, but the way the system was set up here and in the U.S., they were going off of skin color. That's why the Pleckert dude was taking people from native tribes and reclassifying them as Negro.
That's not what we're talking about, man. We're not talking about that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
And they use that to play.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
But that was happening though, right?
Of course. They do whatever they want to do.
And that was happening based off of skin color. So
yes.
what they were saying is, you look like them niggas over there. You get over there. You belong with them niggas over there. And then we all got amalgamated into this new group that we're calling Foundational Black Americans.
Yeah, let's deal
with that's the ethnogenesis. But I still wanted to respond to Dr. Ma'at, the critique that you gave me earlier about the wiping the slate clean and all of that stuff, because there's nuance to that. Because I somewhat agree with you, but again, I believe that we have retained some of our African culturalisms here,
or ancestral culture, whatever that is. Like, because like the one said, some people, his family.
There's always going to be some retention there, yes. But what I'm saying is, like what the Juan B was just explaining, is, and what you kind of agreed with, is that
evolution evolved.
Your culture is not static. Your culture is not static. So we built a new culture here based on our environment, based on our circumstances, what we had to deal with in order to survive and thrive. Not just to survive, but to thrive. Because we became a cultural superpower on the planet.
Absolutely.
When you really look at it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We don't just have a unique culture. We have the most influential culture on the planet.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But when you said wipe the slate clean, that's when I looked at the clip. I was like,
it's not totally clean.
I looked at the clip like, and he said,
but my point was to say that it's not just, your culture is not just static. It don't just stay the same forever, no matter what.
I mean, Africa for the rest of your life.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we function like we're not continental Africans. I would never say that.
But what I will say is, to answer the question that I was asking earlier, I did hear you say most of us didn't come from there.
Right.
Yes, I did hear you say that too. And then also saying that, why are we talking about all this? Why? Hold on. Let me finish. why are we talking about this? The reason why we're talking about this is the very reason I articulated it earlier. Because all this stuff, all this mess, this mishmash, and the one that said is mishmash and is unclear. I'm glad he says that. He's being very accurate, that no one knows really. It's kind of mixed all up and all that type of thing. But all of this is being stated to support that we have to disconnect us from Africa to some degree or greater degree. All this stuff are talking points to separate us. It is mind control and it is psychological warfare to disconnect us from our African roots.
Not true.
Well,
I just don't like being called a Kata. That's all.
This is a psychosocial.
Yeah, we get. Can you share my screen, please, man? Because I'm the only one showing any kind of reality, man. Let's get to the reality of it. It's right here. It's 3 pillars of what y'all talking about. Y'all firmly agree to this. It says foundational Black Americans, right? Represents 3 groups who make up an ethnic group that will become foundational Black Americans. 1, the Black Aboriginal people of North America. Y'all clearly will agree to that. 2, the Black explorers and traders who had contact with the Americans before Columbus. Y'all believe in that? Y'all mad about this part. The captives brought to the Western Hemisphere. Do y'all agree with these 3 pillars, yes or no? I'm just asking a question, bro. Yes, thank you. How about you, Dewan? Do you agree with that?
I literally said some of us came from Africa.
I'm saying, no, do you agree with that, Dewan? Dewan.
Yeah.
You agree with it? Okay. I'm telling you that is a pseudo-scientific history. That is not the ethnogenesis of African Americans or foundational African Americans.
Ethnogenesis happened in the 1920s.
No. I'm telling you that there is no such thing as an ethnogenesis between the Black Aboriginal people of North America, the Black explorers and traders who had contact with the Americans before Columbus, right? And captives brought to Western Hemisphere. That's not true.
200-year gap, brother.
That's not true. Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point, bro. My point is this.
20 with 19.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. Ethnogenesis of African Americans, right, comes from a forced migration from Western Central Africans enslaved in the United States. Cultural construction under extreme oppression. Dream flow from Europeans and Native Americans. Post-Civil War consolidation of shared identity. Okay? That's where I'm at with it. This is the scientific overview of what the ethnogenesis is. And if y'all following that, y'all are promoting misinformation and bad information. Hold on. You've already stated your position. Both y'all agree with that. That is my beat. I'm not conflating anything. I am telling you that this is my contention. Plain and simple, bro.
But let me
bad enough, you anti-scientific information. Bad enough, you anti-vaccine. Both of y'all, anti-scientific literature. It is the craziest thing to me. The whole FBA crew be anti-vaccine. Why? It's in a Hidden Colors movie. The whole Hidden Color movie is anti-vaccine, which is anti-Black people, right? And if you don't care about the health of Black people, then you don't care about Black people.
Hey, look, let me make something very clear.
Yeah, I know you ran from that. I didn't do nothing but tell the truth.
We're doing communication. What you just did, you just had one of the that was very, most of your fallacies are good. That one was horrible because you just took the 1600s and said this happened in the 1600s. This is what they did. And we're talking about an ethnogenesis that happened in the 1920s with the various Renaissance periods around the United States of America.
What?
Let me explain. When the second great migration after slavery, there were 2 great migrations after slavery.
It's crazy.
The first was from rural plantations to the big cities in the South, New Orleans, Birmingham, Memphis, those cities. The second great migration was when those people in the 1920s after World War I moved to the North. And when the people from the South moved to the North, when the Delta brought its blues to Chicago, when the Delta brought its jazz to Kansas City, and then in New York, then Cincinnati, what happened was during that time, LA, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, and everywhere Black people lived, we came into this new environment. We're no longer in rural life. We're no longer in the Delta. We're no longer in our plantations. We're now in the city. During that time between post-World War I and the end of World War II, there was an ethnogenesis, and you can check that because there was a term called the New Black in the 1920s. How do I know that? My great-great-granduncle, Adelbert Roberts, was the first Black senator in Illinois state history, elected in 1924, in July 1924, and he ran against Ida B. Wells and beat her in 1928. During that time, Black people in those cities got a new identity, a new music, a new way of dress. In the same way what happened between hip hop and funk, the young generation was like, we not what that old stuff you was doing, because before that time, there was division amongst us between mulattoes, Melungeons, people who were slaves, farmers. During that time, when Black people got to the big cities, we realized, damn, whether I'm a farmer, plumber, mulatto, Melungeon, they still treat us all as Black. So during that 20, 30-year period, we redefined ourselves. That is 200 years after Africa. Do you get it now?
Right.
I'm telling you, the creolization started. Early creolization started the 1619 to the 1700s, bro. We can go down the whole time now. You playing with me? I don't even know why you playing with me.
Ethnogenesis is specific.
Man, listen, man. You slamming right now.
Let him. Hey, Dewan, let him rock out. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, let him rock out. Let him rock out, brother Dewan.
You playing with us from the 16 to 19, from 1619 to the 1700s. Early creolization occurred. The breakdown of African ethnic distinctions. From the 17 to 1800s, the majority of U.S. born population formation of shared culture and identity. From the 1800s to 1865, rapid cultural linguistics consolidation emerged of the core African American institutions. From 1865 to 1900, post-slavery nations building, African Americans became coherent national ethnic group. I am telling you, from the day that we stepped foot on the daggone landmass and started having sex with other people, that started the creolization process.
Dewan,
if you play this wild game with me, Dewan, you playing with me. Don't play with me like this, bro.
Correct on that.
We still be having an intelligent dialect and an intelligent conversation, but yet you keep flim-flamming me, man. You telling me right now.
He's accurate.
I'm not even trying to. I know it don't got nothing to do with you because you think you're a Black Indian or somebody.
Yeah, he's accurate on that. From the day we stepped forward, yeah, it's
crazy.
It's been happening hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah,
not just during the early 1900s.
No. Like when I get asked the questions, I want to be specific because time and place matters. When we talk about the ethnogenesis to where we all came together, because before that, you're right. You had some Africans here. You had some enslaved. You had some that weren't enslaved. You had some that was described as octoroons, some that was described as Melungeons, mulattoes, and all these different things. All that's true. In the 1800s, what we're saying is in the 1900s, 1920s on, all those different groups of Black people, when they moved to urban environments, when they moved to the cities, they had a rebirth. That's why it's called a renaissance. They talk about the Harlem Renaissance, but the Renaissance happened in every major city that Black people live. Like my dad
was the Indians at Harlem, then, yo.
Central Avenue had just as much jazz as the Cotton Club over in New York. What was going on in Cincinnati, what was going on in Detroit, Chicago. Black people in this new environment had to re-look at how we dealt with our current environment and learn the differences that we had.
Again, what's the point, though? Look, bro. What is the point? See, this is what I'm saying. You're fighting, even though you might not admit it, you're fighting in all ways not to be African. That's all it boils down to be. It's just all it is. I mean, I didn't zoned out. Your whole argument is that you're not African.
I hear him.
If you don't want to say it, you flim-flamming. No. The whole argument is that not only are you not African, and that most of us in America is not African. It's the same thing that my dear brother Sincere said, that he said he didn't say earlier, but he said it on the very video that Unc put out there. What I'm saying is, y'all act like y'all wanted to know where these points came from that I was talking about, but Unc put the footage in both of you said it.
He did.
What are y'all
not-
talking about? I don't want to be African.
If
I don't
call
care if you got
myself
Africa on your arm.
I
You
live
just
here
didn't
in
put that
America.
over top of it yet. You didn't get another tattoo to put over top of it yet. You don't want to be African. And I heard have a comedy son come on your show with all that slick talk. Look, I
Just say you
understand
can't keep
psychological warfare. He put out his little degree, all our little degrees. I can put out all these
You
little
mentioned the degree first.
No, you mentioned it. I see in your show. Your show, you always talk about that degree. Social anthropology. I didn't mention the degree. I mentioned my background.
Man, he ain't pulling no capture. Hold on. Hey, Devon, you didn't show us nothing but cultural anthropology, bro. You didn't. I know you
I said
scandalous.
my minors in cultural
I
anthropology.
don't believe you because you wouldn't do this.
Man,
You
yeah,
wouldn't do this.
You just don't want to be African. Just say it.
I want to hear from Sincere. I want Sincere. What you got?
And all these ideologies, is it by happenstance that both of y'all believe that people? This is the ideology that I'm talking about. Is it by happenstance that both of you believe that most people here that look like us did not come from Africa? Is that by happenstance, or is that a part of the Tariq Nasheedian ideology?
Asar, are you under the impression that somebody is afraid of you?
Right. No, I don't. No.
Because listen, because the reason why I asked that is because people only lie when they're afraid of somebody. They're afraid of somebody.
No. Let me tell you what you're afraid of, though. Let me tell you what you're afraid of. You're afraid of Africans. You're afraid of Caribbeans. You're afraid of them coming to take the stuff that you'll never get the way you're trying to get it. You're afraid they're going to take your reparations. You're afraid of Africans, Caribbeans, all Africans that are not from the United States. The one you look good, brother.
Y'all got Dr. Saul pissed. I don't care if you're scared of me. But you don't have to be scared of me. That's no reason. I love you, brother. I love my brothers, but you are lost.
I'm gonna call TDJ.
Y'all didn't make Dr. Saul. Y'all didn't got the. Hold on, now I'm getting mad.
Psychological tricks.
I know what you want, Asar. I know what you want.
No,
I know what you want. I just
want
it out.
Y'all done got the good doctor upset now.
You are just dying for Tariq Nasheed to make a cartoon out of you. You would be a good cartoon.
It doesn't matter. He can make me famous. Make me famous. Make me famous. Look,
don't put him on the cartoon, Tariq. Don't cartoon, my man.
Don't need to make a cartoon, and that is your leader. That is your leader.
He just green lighted for the cartoon, Dewan. You ain't right about that, Sincere. Hey, yo, they gonna have you in the cartoon looking wow. You know you're good at that.
Omar, they gonna have him.
Hey, Tariq. Hey, man, don't put me on the cartoon.
What would be his name in the cartoon?
Tariq Nasheed to make a meme out of me. And I'm supposed to take him and you serious.
No, I'm the one. I ain't fooling.
Guess what? But sincere. I still think you sincere. Honestly, I'm being honest with you. I still think you sincere. But
I hear you. Let that man talk. Yo, get that man. We gonna hear you. Go ahead, Sincere.
Look, the title of this broadcast.
All right, go. Let's get to it.
The title of this broadcast here says FBA response to Dr. Ma'at's interview with Professor James Small. We have not done that at all.
All right, well, let's do that for the last 10 minutes. We're going to get ready to close out. We're going to do it for 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
We're going to do 10 minutes.
This whole conversation, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen at all. Like this whole back and forth about what you think about Pan-Africanism, FBA and all that. People could be whatever they want to be and think whatever they want to think. It's fine. I don't go around attacking people's channels that make Pan-African content. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I don't make content trying to dispute what you're saying or none of that. You know what I'm saying? If you think something is a dirty glass, just put a clean glass next to it. That's all you got to do.
Now, Sincere, you do say, Sincere, you do take shots at Pan-Africanism.
You do.
All the time.
Come on, I've heard you, brother. We got to be truthful now, man.
You
do. Oh, it's outdated. It don't work. I mean, you say
I give my opinion about it. I give my opinion. I give my opinion about it when we having those type of discussions. But what I'm talking about is I don't go around to Pan-African creators' channels and be all up in their chat room and doing responses to all their videos and being upset about what they're doing. I don't care what y'all doing. I don't care.
That's what FBAs do, though.
Doesn't matter.
That's FBAs do that better than any Pan-Africans. We like the first people who are Pan-African or adjacent that really have taken this up.
I want to say, Ankh and Asar, you guys. To me, it seems like y'all really want, y'all really want the attention from Tariq Nasheed. But his spaces are open every night. Every night he does live spaces, and he allows anybody to call in and get on the mic and say what you got to say.
I didn't even say nothing about Tariq.
I haven't said why you keep that go from Dewan, who said something foul out of his mouth.
Why don't y'all
I'm
just
definitely
do
let
that,
you get away with that, Dewan. I'm gonna play that clip.
That's the only reason why we're.
And I'm saying, hold on for a minute, bro.
That's why we're not talking about the topic. That's why we're not talking about the topic.
No, we're not talking about the topic because we actually was talking about the topic.
We never talked about the topic.
Yes, we did.
We did at the beginning for like.
And I didn't talk about Tariq much. I'm talking about the
I
ideology.
did not even mention Tariq's name, bro.
And I'm talking about the ideology that comes from Tariq.
Right. I'm saying I don't care about Tariq and his pseudo-mentaries. In his wild almost museum. I don't care about that, bro.
See?
It's the truth.
Okay.
It's not a curated museum. And he never said he was going to have a curated museum. Since I'm talking about Tariq, so let me talk about Tariq. I ain't running from Tariq. He got a 9-part pseudo-mentary based off of an inaccurate history about African Americans in America. And I'm going to stand on that. None of these videos are curated with proper information. He promotes anti-vaccines, which is harmful to the African American community or the FBA community. It's harmful to us to give us bad medical advice, no matter what y'all say, no matter who don't agree. So y'all can sit up there and think that's cool. It's actually not. To put us behind the 8 ball, to misinform us, to act like it's the ethnogenesis, then Dewan play the flim flam for 35 minutes and get everybody lost. Just realize we back in that point again. Are you trying to say that there's an indigenous black people that was already in America to which y'all seem to align with more? I'm gonna tell you what you're doing, y'all culture vultures. Y'all stealing somebody else's culture. And stealing somebody else's culture based off of not understanding this simple thing right here. Put this up. And then we get to it. This is it.
I got a video on my channel.
Over this straw right here.
I got a video on my channel.
Hold on, Sincere. Do you know what you're looking at right here, Sincere?
Hold on a second. I got a video on my channel that's titled "Are FBA Still African?" I don't have to lie to y'all about where I stand. If anybody wants to know what I said about that, there's a video called "Are FBA Still African?" And there's another one with Nipsey Hussle on there. I think Nipsey Hussle, FBA
still African. I mean, why would you say that though?
Because y'all trying to say that I'm saying something that I'm not saying, and I got years old videos explaining exactly what I'm saying.
I know. What am I trying to say?
Get up here and lie and try.
What are you saying? Because I don't think that FBA is still African. I say that FBA are African Americans with ancestry that comes directly from Africa through the transcontinental slave trade. Okay, with small percentages of Native American and about 20 to 30% of Europeans. That's what I say. We have a whole different culture. We're some of the greatest people to walk on earth, right? And I'm saying our DNA tells the story. So we don't got to fight back and forth with pseudo information. That's my whole point. I said I'm FBAA, Foundational Black African American. I said it. I'm not married. Whenever y'all say FBA, you talk about the African Americans. We are the foundation that built colonial powers. Modern times, they built the world. The global economy was based off of us and our grandmothers and our great-great-grandmothers. We the gift that keeps giving. We lead the world in STEM for the first 2 million years. So I can go back where the gift is still given, and I can come all the way up to now, modern times. So we don't really got no issue. I'm just saying, stop making that shit up, man. That's all I'm saying. We can get straight to it. Show this map right here. Do you know what you're looking at? Dewan, do you know what you're looking at? How about you, Sincere?
No, I probably got to call my son. And he
yes, sir. I not know what that is. What?
Right. So listen.
Is that Atlantis? I don't know what that is. Teach me, sir.
Tell you funny. This is simple. This is what we understand when we teach. This is simply a skin color map, right? The darker shades are more closer to the equator. So what you can see here, right? If you come to Mesoamerica, North America, and South America, you can clearly see these dark areas will have people that will have dark to brown skin. Simple as that, bro.
What's the source of the map?
Penn State.
Okay, right.
Gina Nablowski.
What year?
Nablowski.
What year are they talking about?
No,
Now,
this would be the indigenous skin color map.
What point are you making?
The point I'm making here is that
so
when colonial powers came to America, they would find people that was a brown skin.
Yep.
Right? They would do that. So I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying the theory of evolution wasn't out yet.
This map said that dark
I
skinned
thought you
people.
didn't believe that.
That's what the map says.
Huh?
The map says there are no dark skinned people there. So what's right, the map or what they said?
No, the map is showing this dark skinned people.
No, you said they said that they came across copper colored individuals. This map, when I look at the Massachusetts area, that there are no dark skinned copper colored people according to this map. So who's right? The people who gave observations saying they saw copper colored people, or this map? Because
the map is an indigenous skin color map, and people will migrate.
No,
and
but this map doesn't your map doesn't reflect that.
Yes, it does, yo. And
I don't see copper color on the East Coast.
2,500 years ago, bro. So I'm telling you, right, that the skin color map is accurate. What you're saying. No, listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you, Dewan. I know you just see when you don't know something, you start laughing and joking. Listen, when the person don't understand something, you laugh and joke. The point I'm simply trying to make here is that you will find people who you misconstrued is being African. You misconstrued it. I'm saying we are surrounded by harmful UVA rays, right? Simple as that. And in response to harmful UVA rays is mutation that will produce brown and dark skin. It protects you. It allows us to have valuable offspring that will reach the age of reproduction. So the skin color has nothing to do with whether you're from Africa or from America. The planet, human beings are in the temperate zones. So the majority of Earth inhabitants anyway live in the temperate zones because we start off naked, Dewan. I know you think we start off with 3-proof suits.
That's another straw.
It's not, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm simply saying y'all keep hollering about brown people. Hell, look at all the brown peoples around the world. No shit, Sherlock. That's not a defining factor of who we are. Y'all keep doing it. So there is no indigenous black people, but there are people with brown skin, and we know their names, the tribes. Y'all name them all the time. That's not you, right? You have small percentages of that. And you shake your head.
Name my family that's in those tribes. What are you talking about?
Nah, man, you playing.
Francis
I'm not listening to you.
I named her.
All right, I'm done. I said I made my point.
I just want to make sure I understand. I made
my point.
Name your African ancestor. Give me one name. Give me one. Just one. One. Give me one African name.
See why is that? Look, see,
yeah, that's not what I'm. No, I'm with you. I'm not saying that, Dewan. You think I'm sitting here tonight telling you that I'm African? No, bro. I say I'm African American. You have been describing African Americans by saying they are the foundation of America. Okay. Everybody knows that, Dewan. We're the foundation of the global economy, bro. It was free labor. No one denies that, Dewan, at all. No, I don't think I'm an indigenous African. I don't care to be. I love y'all. I'm an African American with my own culture, with my own. We speak our own dialect. We speak our own vernacular. So you got me fucked up over here. Excuse my language. I'm not the guy. I never said I was Pan-African. Never said that. I'm not attacking Tariq. He know he got pseudo-mentries. He used all the elders and they pseudo ideas to build his platform. I'm gonna be the one to say it. James Smalls was on y'all side with that pseudo mumbo jumbo. He was. And for some reason, y'all counted this man out because he gave a fair critique. You critique him sincere for an hour and a half. You and your co-host eating French fries. He was eating French fries. Cracking jokes.
Sincere, y'all did, and I'm glad that this is a good segue. Hold on, Sincere. This is a good segue too to get to go back to Sincere point. Yeah. But Sincere, you all did, because you did say when we want to follow, you said, "Did you watch it?" I said, "No, I watched a clip of you and Chase, brother Chase, and your co-host talking about it." And I said it sounded like y'all were kind of clowning him in a nice way. And then you said, "Well, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. Go watch the whole thing." Sincere, I went and watched the whole thing. And I sat back and I said, you all were clowning him. You just did it in a nice way. I mean, it wasn't like you didn't curse him out or mother F that. It wasn't that. But it was clown. Sincere, y'all. I had the clips. I don't want to play. We got the clips. We got like 10 clips, Sincere. I don't want to do that. but it
Were we
was.
attacking and disrespecting the elder? Is that your
I
take
did,
on it?
did I say disrespect and
I'm
attacking?
asking.
I say clowning. I said clowning. I didn't say, I said you did it in a nice way. I didn't
Okay.
say you was mother F this. It wasn't that. But y'all were like clowning him. I got 10 clips in the I got 10 in the clip. I'm telling you, you were. I'm telling you,
It was
you
a
were.
bit condescending.
And yeah, there you go. It was
It was
kind of condescending.
condescending,
Yeah,
yes.
it really was. I keep saying clowning, but I love what Dr. Asar said. You did come off a bit condescending when it came to the elder, and it was exactly what I thought it was. Having not, I saw that one clip and I said, "Oh no!" And he said, "Well, you didn't see the whole thing." I'm like, you know what? He's right. I didn't see the whole thing. But when I went back and looked at it, I'm using the word clowning. I agree with Dr. Asar. You were a bit condescending. You were, and I just, so I.
Hey,
Can I make a point about Dr. Smalls?
Yes, sir.
Because I did my video and I wasn't part of that video. And here's what was my point of view when I reviewed it. Like I said, and I took heat from my following, my own miles or something where a lot of them were mad at me. I said very clearly, I still love Dr. Smalls. I just disagree over this issue. And Dr. Smalls means a lot to me because I'm not going to throw out all that he's taught me from a distance over the last decade plus from when I've been listening to him. I can't throw all of that out because I disagree over this issue. And when it comes and when it comes to Pan-Africanism, if you see videos of me, you'll definitely see me clowning Pan-Africanism. Why? Because I was once a Pan-Africanist. Dr. Smalls has the Sauna Lodge.
You was a Garveyite.
Sauna Lodge for a long time.
You was a Garveyite. You weren't a Pan-African.
Okay.
Yeah, you was a Garveyite, bro. Keep it a buck.
No, I wasn't a Garveyite. No, I was never a
Well,
Garveyite.
then you don't know what Pan-African.
No, I wasn't a Garveyite. Can I finish my point? Because
yes, sir. Yes, sir, Dwayne. I just want to be like you for a minute. That's all. But
to it, so I love Dr. Smalls. When he came to his Sauna Lodge, I remember when he needed, it was some issues going on where he asked for donations in 2018. I donated. Hell, I gave hundreds of my pandemic money when the pandemic happened. He went on Brother Rich's show and he talked about some of the issues because of the pandemic. I donated. I've always been someone since the 90s that believed in the Pan-African ideology. The issue came in when it wasn't no Tariq Nasheed, and salute to not no disrespect to Tariq, but it wasn't him that got me thinking like this. Y'all keep putting Tariq up. What got me thinking like this was when I went back to my alma mater, CSUN, and saw a bunch of Africans treating the Black Americans disrespectful. When I saw what was going on with my cousins down at Howard University, where the Africans was treating them, then I started dealing with a lot of stuff. I say, you know what? These people don't respect us. And nor do they not respect us, they don't reciprocate. Any relationship requires reciprocation. And I call myself, I will do the Pan-Africanism to me is an action. It's not just an ideology. It's taking the time, it's spending your money, it's spending your time to really give resources and to take resources. The issue is this. It hasn't been reciprocal. So since Pan-Africanism, since on the other side, what I dealt with in my experience, especially in music, being a music historian, I'm hearing everybody say hip hop is Jamaican and Latino and all this other stuff. I'm like, hold on, for a while, I may need to pause this until there's respect and reciprocity. Those are the two things that Pan-Africanism requires that we haven't gotten to this point. Respect and reciprocity. So since people don't respect us, since Pan-Africanism isn't reciprocal,
Brother Dewan, where are you getting this from that continental Africans don't respect us? And I'm not talking about the people that either the ones that don't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this whole perception that most of the Africans, and I'm using the word most on purpose intentionally, most of them on the continent, they don't respect us. It is no reciprocity.
I'll give you an example.
Where are you getting that from?
I'll give you an example. Here in LA.
Have you been over there? Because I've been.
No, I'm talking about the ones here.
You mean the one on the internet? You on the internet?
No, not the internet.
He's talking about the internet people.
I'm a real life person. Like most of my actions in real life.
Same
like
here.
I have a whole foundation. Like I'm a real life dude. Promise you that. Internet is where I come to have fun. So in real life, here in LA, I have friends who are actors. I don't really act. I don't do acting, but I have friends who are, and they're the ones who had gotten a leaked email. There's an email that was sent around by Issa Rae and a lot of your African actors that said, we're going to come around, we're going to look out for each other. The Africans from the Caribbean and the diaspora, we have to take these jobs from the Black Americans. This is stuff that I'm not saying Issa Rae wrote that, but I have a Black American friend who was in that chain that was dealing with this email talking about what was going on. That's just an isolated incident. On a larger way, you deal with what's going on. I see what's going on with the brother who bought Essence Magazine. His Pan-Africanism was to hire a whole bunch of other Africans to executive positions, not Black Americans. I deal with the DMV out here in LA and different departments where Africans have control here in LA. They don't mess with Black Americans. They'll hire someone from the Caribbean. They'll hire an Asian before they hire a Black American. I'm talking about on the ground. Another thing that I do that you guys can look it up. I have a company called Breakthrough Advocacy Services, breakthroughas.org. I also deal with anti-Black racism corporate trainings. So I'm going to these corporations. I have contracts with some of the biggest unions in California, and I'm going and I'm seeing what's happening on the ground. The Africans that are in position to mess with Black Americans don't mess with Black Americans. They will hire an Asian or a Latino before they hire a Black American here in California. So my offline observations, damn the Twitter people, when I go to my company, breakthroughas.org, look it up, I'm dealing with people in a racial dynamic that whether I'm dealing with the Latinos, the Caribbeans, the Africans, they all have an anti-Black American sentiment. And that's where I drew my conclusion from.
Okay, so your personal experiences.
Yeah, and dealing with
and then
money.
and then indirect, you had some direct and indirect experiences, that led you to that conclusion.
Yeah, and do you think in New York? I'm going to be in New York pretty soon, cleaning some nursing facility out up there over the, so.
So do you think that because of your personal experiences that we should condemn billions of people on that landmass because of your personal experiences?
Here's my point of view on that. It's on Africans to clean up that. I can't clean it up, and I don't have a position to condemn them. They're gonna act how they act. Based on my observation, I see this happening. It's my job to, now that I see this, take care of my own. And if it's more or less, all I know is what I'm dealing with when it comes to money, actual tangibles here in California. I'm dealing with a major problem. And my job is to deal with that problem that I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis when it comes to Black Americans' interaction with continental Africans. And so if it's the most, if they're like that in Africa, I don't know if they're like that in Africa.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. No,
but I know they're like that here.
Yeah, and I've had experiences with some of them too. But I've had experiences with continental Africans, like you said, who've had anti-Black American sentiments, and I've had my you know what happened when I went to the post office and what happened with that Nigerian woman. Yeah. She caught a loogie, So yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad, and I felt bad after I did it. I didn't really feel that bad, but she caught one. She caught one, in the post office parking lot. I was praying that they didn't have a working video camera out there. Because
that's funny.
They sent it to the job. This is what your professor's doing, So anyway, so I say all that to say I've had my encounters. So I totally get what you're saying. But I've also had encounters with my own people here in America. And I'm talking about Black Americans. So should I say, well, all Black Americans ain't shit because these people tried to rob me at the gas station? I mean, we're human, and people.
All Africans ain't shit, though. And I don't mean to cut
you off. Okay. No.
Yeah, that's what we delineate between tethers and immigrants.
Because he said, but sincere, he said, a lot of them, they have these anti-Black, and that's why I was asking him to qualify what he meant by that, and he was saying his indirect and direct experiences led him to that conclusion. And what I'm just saying is, and I didn't discount what he said. I said, okay, that's where I got it from. But I said I've had my share, of experiences too, not only just with continental Africans, but with my own damn people here in the States. But it's not an indictment on all of my people in the States. And that's what I'm saying.
Sincere, I'm gonna give you 1 second. Hey, Sincere, let me make this one point. Close out my point. I'll get right to you. My bad, Sincere. I want to make it very clear. I have very thick skin. I have very thick skin. So for me, I don't really trip if it's a social dynamic gas station store. I don't care about that. Because if it come down to jokes, I got way better jokes than any of these fools, so I ain't tripping on that.
What you talking about? Devon? I missed it.
I'm talking about when it comes to people not liking us. I ain't tripping on people like if they don't like us, if they look at us a certain way, they say something funny. That right there is not where I base my point of view on. Okay. I base my point of view on money and how it's exchanged.
But why are you talking around the issue though?
And when
You
it
actually
comes to
talking around the issue though, Dewan.
the lack of opportunities that Africans, when
Dewan,
they
you
get
talking around the
position,
issue,
how
Dewan.
they treat us. That's my
I
issue.
like that.
Dewan does it well. But can
No, hold on, Asar. I just want to make one statement.
Mhm.
Two statements. Yeah, two statements.
True.
He's actually talking around the issue.
Mhm.
His point is
I created the issue. Brought
Africans
it up.
don't treat us right, all based off. That's why I ain't a Pan-African no
didn't
more.
say
I don't
that.
want any problem with them.
Right.
You
Give
did.
another strong argument.
You did sit up here and say you talked about how they don't respect us.
I say I don't care about them. I care about the people in the hiring positions. That's what I'm focusing
Right,
on.
so they're not doing it right. I got you. We appreciate it. But that still does not give you the right to make up a whole wild story
Dude,
of who we are. That don't give you the right to do
I
that.
got to write down my own opinion.
No, you don't.
Hell, the hell
I'm gonna
does
say
it mean
this
I don't have the
again.
right to make my opinion.
That does not give you the right to misinform the greater African American population
Oh, my opinion.
on your platforms. I'm saying you have bad information.
Or
So you
experience,
respond
personal
with
experience.
bad-
with bad
I'm in the
information.
middle of talking. I'm in the middle of talking.
You're in the middle of
So
lying.
if all continental Africans would cuss us out right now and say we what's the word they use for calling you white people, right? They still would not give me the right to make up some shit. I'm saying y'all making it up as you go. You do not understand anthropology. You act like you took anthropology, but everything you say out your mouth is
It didn't prove
anti-anthropology.
me wrong, though.
I'm in the middle of talking, bro.
None of
All
that
right?
talking proved me wrong.
My point is that does not give us the right to misinform other people that we claim to care about. You care so much about who you are as a person, you literally run away from that person. Because when you say indigenous black people was here, indigenous traders with conquistadors, whatever the hell you say, and some enslaved Africans make up the FBA, you're making it up.
I talked about Africans not hiring black
No,
people.
you
You gonna
making
deal
it
with that?
up. That does not give you the right to create a whole scenario. You got the young brothers and sisters that care about having an identity. And you make up their identity. You literally take them away from their identity. You literally help with the miseducation of African Americans. You can't prove none of that stuff you're saying. You think you're a cowboy and Indian all the way. I'm not quite sure who you think you are, sincere, but I know it's got something to do with being indigenous to America. I don't know what's going on here. What I do know is Professor James Smalls, he kicked the same pseudo judo nonsense for years because I didn't argue with him for years. He gave y'all sway. Y'all got on his shoulders, y'all rolled that, and now all of a sudden, because he decided to say y'all was CIA, right? He said y'all CIA, right? Because he don't understand why you're attacking Africans. And then he say, no, you might not be CIA. I don't think it's that, because he said that. He said, I think it has something to do with COINTELPRO, where they get in and throw mixed messages. What I do know is that the Russian government had all y'all confused and think you was something you really wasn't. They did that for that election. We all know they did. Misinformation.
What the hell?
They did that. I'm not just
saying what bot lie? Was that the Russian bot lie?
What happened?
Oh no,
there wasn't no lie. They really did that. That's not a lie.
What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about?
I'm saying, I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this again. Everybody knows. Russian. I mean, it's okay. All right, now that's where we at. All right, let me play the next.
Playing hopscotch.
I got you.
Yeah, using maps that don't prove your point.
Oswald Bates talk, man.
I got you. All right,
now you talking about
let me play this clip.
Needles and vaccines.
Let me play this clip. Let's see where we at.
What we about to deal? We about to deal with rainbows and unicorns next.
Now, the vaccine was the literary test I gave. If you think the Twin Towers was a conspiracy, if you think the vaccines was made to kill FBA and was not efficient for African Americans, you're a damn flaming pseudo. And since y'all didn't answer the question, I already know y'all flaming pseudos. I already know. Let me play this clip right here.
Play the clip. Right. Play the clip because we gotta take it in. We gotta wind up. We gotta.
You know what I'm saying? We have people, black people here were shedding blood for freedom, for equality, for the right to basically exist. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give a damn no more. We're not just going to bow down to y'all. And if that means shedding blood, that's what we're going to have to do. They have not done that yet. And the expectation is for us to stand, you know what I'm saying, and what's the word? Sacrifice our bodies, our blood, our everything, you know, for these people to come here or to gain their resources back there without getting anything in return, because they're not doing anything for us now.
And he's talking about, you know, he feels sorry for us if we want to stay over here, but they all trying to run over here.
And he here too.
They trying to get on the first thing smoking.
And Elder is here too. And Debo, I think that's what it is. Debo made a good point in the comments. Pan-Africanism never holds Africans accountable. And I agree with that.
That's not true.
They never hold them accountable.
Because they romanticize Africa.
No, we
they
don't.
Have this Wakanda idea of Africa that doesn't exist.
I just can I stop?
Wait, yes, absolutely. I want you to
remember.
I got to let me respond.
Dr. Mike,
he just said he said he don't talk about it. He don't take class at and all that. But we just heard the clip. That's why I just So that's first of all, I don't know any Pan-Africanist, and I am a Pan-Africanist. I'm in that world. No one romanticizes Africa. Are you crazy? We know the issues they have going on over there. I got people over there. I've been over there. I got projects. I got work over there. So if you haven't I'm at this point. I don't want to hear nobody give their opinions on, well, I guess you know what, your opinion on Africa, you could give a million opinions. But there's a lot of, I'm just going to say, uninformed, unqualified opinions on what Pan-African is and what it isn't. You're not even in the world. That's like my mother trying to tell me what goes on in the drug world. She's a law-abiding citizen. She wouldn't dare come and try to tell you what's happening over east, Dr. Asar, what's happening with the vice lords or she couldn't tell you. She's not from that world. She's not over there. I am a Pan-Africanist. I'm also a Black nationalist. Nobody romanticizes Africa. Everything is great over in Africa. They don't have no issues. I don't know any just like you said, I don't know any FBA that talks like that. I don't know any Pan-Africanist that talks like that. They know Africa has a bunch of issues. So that's the first thing. Then you said they wanted to be a big Wakanda and a big melting pot. That's not what a Pan-Africanism is. This what I recommend. Hold on. This what I recommend. Sincere, grab this book. Where's my man Dewan? Dewan, grab this book right here. Educate yourself on what Pan-Africanism is and what it isn't. So we can have a fruitful, intelligent conversation. Grab this. It's by Baba Imhotep Fadiu. Please grab this. And then let's have a conversation about what Pan-Africanism really is. Have you ever read any books, Sincere, Love to God, on Pan-Africanism? Have you read any books? I can go grab. My library is right behind me. And if you say you did, I'm going to say pull them out. Have you read any books on Pan-Africanism to have a qualified opinion on what it is and what it isn't?
When you want to narrow me down on a specific question, but when I want to speak, I'm not allowed to speak.
You've been speaking the whole time.
You've been speaking. Goes all over the place, and it's like the things that I'm trying to address, I never get a chance to address and really unpack what's being said. You playing these little clips, and I'm trying to qualify what I'm saying in the clip. I haven't even had a chance to do that.
I'm not playing the clips. I'm not playing the clips. Ankh is playing the clips. And
it's okay.
You spoke, Brother Sincere, Love to God. You spoke on this platform way more than I spoke tonight.
I don't know what just happened. Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here. We just see your
Black Indians came and got
you. We see your avatar.
Okay.
But I feel like the brothers spoke way more than I spoke for doing this 2.5 hours. Way more than I spoke. Way more than I spoke.
That is
the two with the
more than you.
You said what happened? What happened, Sincere?
I said that's correct. Everybody spoke way more than you. That is a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Sincere. Go ahead, brother. Explain. Go ahead. Qualify what you want to say.
You speaking for yourself as a Pan-Africanist, I agree with you. As far as what I know from Dr. Ma'at, I can say, yeah, I agree with you. You're not one of those persons that I'm talking about who don't hold Pan-African, don't hold Africans accountable and all that stuff. You're not one of those people I'm talking about, because I've heard you do so. You know what I'm saying? In your videos, in your lives and stuff like that, I've heard you do so. You know, you was a part of the FBA rally for reparations and all of that. I've heard you give a good balance on these conversations. So you are not really the person that we're talking about. But in the video, I'm responding to the clip that we were playing from Professor James Smalls, where all the onus is on us to you know, open up this doorway and create a platform for Africans when they come over here. We're supposed to have this big warm welcoming for them when they come over here, but there's never any accountability for the anti-Black American sentiments that they bring over here and the undermining that they do. When we talk about this thing, people act like they don't see that they come over here and create their own little enclaves. They go to their own little separate churches and all of that stuff. They get into
neighborhoods, their own neighborhoods.
You know what I'm saying? They get into political positions and they get in the media and they speak against our interests and they push legislation and stuff like that that's against our interests. That's the thing that we're pushing back on. Not somebody saying, oh, I don't like those niggas over there, those are katas over there. That's one thing, that's whatever. But when you're getting into the political positions and you're getting in the media, you're doing real damage to the community, you know what I'm saying, with your anti-Black American sentiments. And that's the purpose of delineation. We have to separate and make a difference so these people are not allowed to represent us in these positions. That's the point of it. So, it's not about, oh, we don't want to be African, we hate Africa and all of that. I don't got a problem with Africa. I got African people that I'm cool with, African people that I consider family, and Caribbeans. My son's mother is from Jamaica. Her family is from Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? His name is Heru. I don't got a problem with none of this stuff that I was being accused of on here, not by you, Dr. Ma'at, but you know what I'm saying? All of the stuff that is being attributed to me, the jacket just don't fit.
Who accused you of anything, though? What did I accuse you of? I accuse you of promoting bad information on the subject. You don't fix the problem by adding more bad information.
Your whole thing is Black people wasn't here before the transatlantic slave trade. And then you pulled up the map and you showed that dark people were here. You know
everywhere.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, the majority of the planet are brown because it's for protection from the sun.
But you're saying that ain't us. But the way that those people at that time looked, in today's time, they would be classified as Black. Is that correct?
No.
They would
inflame the information.
They would. Those people that you're talking about at that time, closer to the equator, the people that existed then, in today's time, they would be classified as Black, and that's what happened during a lot of
classified. You saying classified, right?
Yes, they would be considered Black.
Okay.
How do you know that though? How do you know that? I mean, like what about when you go to India and people are darker than everybody on this panel?
Right.
Would you classify them as Black?
You got Indians that come over here. You got dark Indians that come over here and get African American scholarships.
Yep, the necessary.
No, I'm talking about you though.
No, that's not the point, fella.
Right, but that's the problem that we're having. That's what we're trying to solve.
No, I'm agreeing with you there, but you don't solve it with a lie.
Delineation.
I know you understand what I'm saying. See, this is where the rubber meets the road. I agree with you as far as colonial powers classified, they racialized them, which was wild.
Yeah, they did.
Right. They didn't have a comprehensive theory of evolution in the 1600s. So when they seen people, they like, oh yeah, they look the same. Okay, whatever.
Right.
It's a bunch of crap. I agree with you. I'm not fighting that. I'm saying in 2025.
But we live under it though.
No, they don't do that. No, it's called scientific racism. It's called scientific racism.
We don't call those shots. So we got to deal with the reality that we live in.
Yeah, y'all not living in reality because that doesn't happen.
In reality, that's how they get classified in the same group as us.
When now? Today?
Yes, now, today.
Who? When?
All of these dark non-FBAs that we're talking about.
No, sir.
Okay, let's say that do happen. Hold on.
Yes, sir.
Let me say that happened, right?
It has to be some finagling though.
Yeah, you can't.
Finagling.
Yeah.
It has to be some finagling, and finagling is not going to stop. So what I want to say is there's
how does that help more bad information on top of people lying and cheating? That's my whole point.
Yeah, that has to be some. So brother sincere.
Yeah,
I really do believe that you're sincere. I'm being really honest. Now, my brother, he started off, then he started turning to a whole. I mean, him and Unc. I don't know what happened with him.
Them two.
His cheese
Brother
slid off.
Devon and brother Unc.
His cheese slid off the crack. I don't know what he's saying.
My brother just matching energy. Unc started before we even went live.
I said,
Yeah, right.
Unc did start. Unc did
Started. I finished it. That's all.
Unc you did. Unc you did. You was back. You was bad backstage.
I came in respectfully.
One thing I can say about Unc is that he stayed on the point and then tried to talk around the points. Now,
He brought up vaccines. What are you talking about?
No. He brought it up to prove a point. He asked the question.
No, they playing on purpose. They know why.
What I'm saying is, it's kind of like either we just don't understand, like when we're talking about things in generalities. Like that's why I keep saying, Dr. Matt, why social science is essential.
Exactly, I agree.
Because when you look at when you look at people and you keep saying those Africans, you have to understand what that implies. You're saying when you say those Africans, that is saying a great majority of these people do this thing. When you say that Pan-Africans don't do this, that means that most Pan-Africans don't do this thing. I'm not going to say that no Pan-African doesn't do that, but most Pan-African people don't do that. But when you look at this chat, I have not looked at the chat yet. I have not. But I guarantee you, statistically, when you go through there and look at those comments, all the Nashidian talking points that I spoke about will come out.
Yeah.
And they will be, and they will say all kinds of hold on, let me finish. So also I want to understand. I really want us to see. And I think you, Sincere, I think you really know. But I do think this is a we are afraid. We are fearful. We're at war. This is a miseducation from a white supremacist system. And the thing is, it wants us to split. It wants us to fight one another. I'm saying that you can do what you're doing, Sincere, and FBA or whatever can do that without all the other vitriol that comes with it. And that is what Dr. Baba Smalls was speaking. And we can, as long as you act like the majority of people out here in this movement are not saying these things, you are an anomaly. You are not I promise you, you are the anomaly, not the norm.
Yeah.
Also, let me respond to that.
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, I'm going to close. I'm going to say I'm going to land my plane. It's a divide and conquer technique, and people playing on our fears. Also, hence, I understand why we are protecting this thing, but we don't see how we're being played. And again, it's all about Africa. Everything we said, you're right, Sincere. I wanted to say the same thing you said. I wanted to say, wow, this conversation went way over here. But the reality is, when you rewind this and you look at this presentation, a lot of the conversation was about really, even if people didn't directly say it, and even Brother Unc showed it in the clips, that it was about not only delineating from Africa, but delineating from African unity, not delineating, separating from African unity, critiquing Pan-Africanism, and saying, and even in some ways saying that we are not African.
Yeah.
Or majority of the people here, those of us who you consider FBA, would consider myself FBA if it didn't have all this ideological stupidity. But okay. So what I'm saying, and yes, I will say, I didn't say I have a degree yet, but I'm saying I'm a social scientist. So I'm understanding that there's a lack of understanding about statistics going on here. No one's asking. We're speaking in these generalities. You understand? And these generalities hurt us, and they create certain types of fear in our people, and our people jump on board with misinformation, which is miseducation.
All right. Dr. Ma'a, you know I'm an MC, right?
Yes.
So I made a song called Revenge of the Akata. Mm-hmm. And the first line of the song, I said, this is for the tether class, not for the riders in the diaspora. Mm-hmm. And then I went on to express, the specific grievances. And I named all these bunch of different non-FBA groups, and not just black ones, by the way, either. Latinos, the Arabs, everybody got.
You sent me that song. That's a dope ass song, brother.
Yeah, it is dope.
But it's not about you though, bro. That's what I keep trying to say. This is social science.
From the first line that I said, that is my stance. This is for the tether class, not for the riders in the diaspora. I have always made a distinction between the two. That's one thing. Now, the other thing I want to say to respond to what you were saying, you said that Professor James Smalls was critiquing the vitriol that goes on in the FBA spaces towards Africans. The thing that started this whole conversation was our brother Chase, shout out to Chase McGee, our brother Chase posting the video with Dr. Smalls on 125th Street, speaking, saying the things that he was saying in the video. Everybody know what I'm talking about here. Everybody know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. What you talking about?
All right. But everything that he said in the video, and even according to him, when he was on your show, he said everything that he said was true. He didn't make up nothing in that video. Everything that he said was true about how the Africans come over here and their disposition towards us. Right? And everything that he said in that video is the same thing that we're saying when we get accused of being divisive, the vitriol that you're talking about and all of that. It's the same exact thing. We're talking about the same people. He wasn't castigating all Africans in that video. He was talking about the tether class. The same way we're not castigating all Africans and Caribbeans. We're talking about the tether class because the tether class is a problem. And we have to point that out.
The question?
They don't do a good job of pointing it out.
I agree with you.
Culture, we got coons and Sambos and all that in our culture, but we also have these words in our culture to describe these people, to make these people pariahs within our society. They're not just welcomed in like that.
That's not the majority of our conversation. One, and we don't.
That's why we have the word Sambo, coon.
Do you remember? Do you remember the question I asked Baba Smalls?
Which question?
Baba Small. I said, Baba Small. I said, in essence, I asked him the question. The question was, can two people or two groups of people be saying the very same thing, but due to the intent, it'd be something very different? And what I am saying again, see, brother, sincere, I truly do. And I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not saying nothing. I think your heart is in the right place. I listened to even some of the part over there. You feel like Dr. Baba Small was lost, and that's okay. But there is some gaps in what you're seeing. But I'm not saying anything that you're saying. I think the generalities are off. I think your social science is off. I think your statistics is off because no one's asking these questions. And when you throw out sweeping statements, it implants or deposits thoughts and ideas in people's minds.
Sweeping statements.
So we have to be very careful. And you are when you say pardon.
I just want an example. Sweeping statements like what?
When people just listen to the video you just said, right? Y'all generalize Pan-Africans. Y'all say no Pan-African does this, right? I don't know what it was, right? That's a sweeping statement, but it's false. It's false. It's false. You can go and you have to go and say, well, some don't. But the reality is, if you know, you have to do some research. And the research, even if you did it yourself, you have to go and talk to 10 Pan-Africans. Just go to talk to 10.
Listen, I already know that that's true. Like I said, I got plenty of videos where I use.
True. Hold on, back up. Hold on, let's qualify what you're saying. So we talking about science here. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, I know that it's not all Pan-Africans that get down like that or that think like that.
But that's what you said.
In
the video, no Pan-Africans. It was black and white.
Okay, maybe it came across that way in that short soundbite. Maybe it came across that way in that soundbite. But I have tons of videos. I have hours and hours.
You know what I call it? I call it split.
You can't just go by a soundbite. Like I said,
I said this on Dr. Myatt's show for many, many times. When we are operating from a place of fear, and FBA is, and I'm not saying we shouldn't protect nothing. Don't get me wrong. But what I am saying is when we're operating from a place of fear, we're not able to hold nuance. We're not able to look at the whole picture. We start to look at the differences and how this one did that and not look at the big picture.
You're the one that's erasing the nuance.
What happened?
You're erasing the nuance.
Also, help me out.
By just taking that soundbite and making it seem like
no, I didn't. I look, brother, I'm not erasing your nuance. I'm saying in that soundbite. I'm not saying that's the only thing you ever said. But what I am saying is that was an example. You asked me for an example, and I gave you one example. You want me to give you others?
No.
Okay,
But
just
I'm
understand.
just trying to say that
I'm giving
I
you
have
what you
pointed
asked
out.
me.
I have pointed out,
Brother,
specific
just
Pan-Africans that
understand.
do good
Hold up,
work.
brother,
I have
concede
pointed out
to a point.
specific Pan-Africans that do
Concede
good
to a
work.
point, brother.
I have a
that
track
you-
record of that.
See, this is what I'm saying. You have to do some more thinking on this. And Booker T. Coleman's son, just because he's the prince of the prince, don't mean that he's an authority. But what I'm saying is, see, these are psychological warfare tactics.
He gets straight.
He talking about Baba Kaba Cabernet.
Because they brought him in.
Why they hate
they all pseudos. They all misinformed.
He became an authoritative figure, which is psychological science.
Can I play this clip, man?
I don't know why he just caught a stray.
Why he caught a stray? He ain't cut no stray because he promote misinformation. It's not a stray for me. It's the truth. So he don't gotta be here. He be talking crazy when I'm not there. So what's the difference?
No, brother, I think brother sincere is sincere, honestly. And I'm not
trying to hear none of that. Let me play this clip. Hold on.
Things. I would like to talk to you, brother.
Yeah, talk to him. He's sincere. Let me say this. When I first came in the thing, y'all all said Ankh started that shit. Ankh don't start nothing. Ankh just finish it. Let me show you what the brother said out his mouth about me and why I came up like that. What's wrong with y'all, man? Not starting nothing. I'm just a finisher.
He did say something about my coat. Yeah, he did.
I'm a finisher. I ain't starting nothing. I react to it.
I ain't only no damn Tariq to tell me that. Y'all see, the thing is, a lot of y'all got a hard on for Tariq. And his brother in the blue obviously has a hard on for Tariq. Man, please. If y'all get Tariq's dick out y'all mouth, y'all might see what's really going on. But my thing is, these dudes don't really see what's going on because they got Tariq's dick in their mouth.
The one that was not nice.
That's why you came in.
Oh, no, it wasn't nice.
That shows why you came in with the smoke, but nevertheless, you came in with the smoke.
Now let me talk. Because I come in with the smoke. And I didn't come in with the smoke for no damn reason. Long as I live, I ain't never letting a man push me to his private parts to say what's in my damn mouth without smacking the shit out of him. So we ain't playing this wild fake game where we fake and parlay. I already know what it is. That's why I came in like that. Y'all think y'all got some groundbreaking information and we crazy. I'm sitting there telling you, y'all producing bad information, and all the elder shoulders y'all standing on, they have produced bad information. The crop is fell. We here to raise the game. We raise the game now. We have fluent with what we talking about. We practice scientific literacy. We know when you scamming. The one flim-flammers the whole time acting like it was 5,000 people in the coast and they was already here. Get out of here, bro. You scamming. Sincere, you acting like you understand the topic. You don't. None of y'all understand what Pan-Africanism is, and none of y'all know what the hell y'all talking about when we talking about an ethnogenesis of African Americans. Y'all don't know your daggone history, because if you did know your history, you wouldn't have came up on the damn radar.
You the smartest one in the room, brother.
I am not the smartest one in the room. I'm talking. So how come when I'm talking, everybody else got to talk? Let me finish my point. Let me finish my point.
You smarter than all of them.
Listen, yeah, I'm trying to tell you that I stand on their shoulders.
And you upset because nobody won't really listen to you.
No, I mean, let me
now I'm
hold on. He doesn't have to be smarter than anybody, but he is an intelligent brother.
Hold on, let me defend myself. Let me take care of myself.
Hold on, no, let me help too, because I want to look. You are an intelligent brother.
Yeah, he is. He
no,
really
I don't listen.
No, you might not say it. I'm saying it.
Okay, appreciate that. I could be the dumbest nigga on this platform.
You're not.
But what y'all can't do is y'all can't pull one serious scientific academic source. Y'all run around, y'all don't even understand evolution, because if you did, you wouldn't say the shit you've been saying at all.
Evolution.
He playing anthropology and don't know what the hell he talking about. None of y'all understand the subject matter.
That didn't prove me wrong.
Sincere over there is still thinking that it's three races. Sincere actually think it's three races.
You want to play that clip too?
Yeah, I'm gonna play that clip too, Sincere. I'm saying y'all not qualified to even make the daggone stances you make, because it's based off of bad information, and the elders' shoulders that y'all standing on, they misinforming us.
He keeps saying,
You know,
I'm telling, listen, I don't gotta back down.
psychological warfare.
None of this. Listen, I don't gotta act like the elders we was talking about. I'm
real
saying
quick.
they understood to a certain point, and I'm saying the point we are here right now, we promote evolution as a way to understand African American history, bro. And if you can't understand that statement, we use anthropology. We celebrate excellence. They're not hiding who we are, bro. It's all in the textbooks. We can pick up textbooks, not your little crazy pseudo book you picked up. We're talking textbooks. Okay? We're not talking a book that anybody can write. Textbooks is the standard. No, we're not. That's a pseudo book. We talk about textbooks.
That's a paperback. What are you talking about?
Textbooks.
This is a hardcover. What are you talking
No, that's
about?
a pseudo book right there. Anybody can write that trash.
Published by the University of Indiana.
Hey,
I don't care. I'm not listening.
Why you look for the 3 race clips, brother Sincere?
I got it.
Sincere, brother Sincere. Another good book that you should check out is Booker T. Washington in Africa: The Making of a Pan-Africanist by Dr. Taryn Wright. This is a really, really good book. Booker T. Washington in Africa: The Making of a Pan-Africanist.
I haven't read the book, but I've heard you break it down when you were doing.
Dr. Taryn Wright.
I want to say one thing before we move
like
on.
a book club thing, and you guys read that book. Yeah,
Yes.
I've heard some of your broadcasts breaking down the book.
I want to say one thing.
Yeah. The book is she's serious. She's a serious sister. Serious sister.
And I'm curious to why Sincere turned down my invitation to talk.
Let me say one thing before y'all, because since my name is brought up, I want to say one thing before y'all move to the next video. I stand by what I said, and yes, because in the video it was a whole lot of Tariq being brought up when Tariq running around. So when I said what I said about Tariq, I stand on the 10 toes down. I ain't running from it. Yeah,
brother Dewan, that wasn't nice.
It wasn't. No, I agree. Nice, it wasn't nice.
Dewan.
It was.
See, I'd be wrong if I call him a whole ass nigga that I'm.
No, we're not doing that.
Then I'm wrong. See. How is he gonna tell me what I got in my mouth though? I think that shit proper. I think I ain't gonna say stuff about that. I ain't got calm down on that. I'm never going for that. I ain't going. I ain't going, nigga. I'm not going.
You look like an autistic Katino Mobley.
Let me meet both of them, please. Let me meet both of them. I just muted both of them, Sincere and Dr. Assault.
Hold up.
I can't.
See, the Pan-Africans don't talk like that about each other.
And that wasn't nice what you just said. Ankh, it wasn't nice what you just said. Don't call nobody out there name, Ankh. And the one,
Doc, I'm not mad that he can turn around and talk close with that piece of meat behind his head. Go ahead, turn around and talk close with that piece of meat you got back there, bro.
Let me mute. Brother Dewan, and Brother Ankh. We're not going to name call. We're not going to talk about people private parts in their mouths. We not Dewan. Stop.
Let's wind it down, Dr. Bob. I'm sorry.
Y'all stop.
Let's wind it down.
God, yeah, we about to wind it down. Goodness gracious, man. Okay, so look, I'm gonna get Dewan and Ankh off first. The two of y'all go ahead. What's your closing words? Get y'all out of here first. Dewan, what's your closing words? Brother Dewan? You gotta unmute, Brother Dewan. You gotta unmute yourself. Y'all two,
okay.
Man.
My closing words is, look, I have no issues with anybody, whatever they choose to celebrate and participate in. We all have personal choice. I don't know where other people's family lineage and background come, but when you call me stupid and say I'm not academic because I bring up my history, that's where I draw the line. I got a whole bunch on that video, a whole bunch of people who follow Tariq Nasheed. They don't know how to read. They don't know what they're talking about. And I can pull up family genealogy. And then when I pull my degree out, niggas got offended. So you can't have it both ways, is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. If you guys feel the way you feel, you want to call yourself foundational African American, I don't give a fuck. You want to be African? Cool. My fight ain't with none of y'all. I come from the professional world. I come from 15 years of doing IEPs and with our children in schools, groundwork. I'm not part of no organization. I fix people's IEPs, and I've dealt with that when it came to the children, the breakthrough advocacy services. Then I evolved my company into dealing with more corporate trainings, dealing around communication, because my specialty is communication. And in my work, both with the children and with the adults, I see a major issue and a major schism between the groups. And it's a schism that needs to be addressed, that I use my platform to sometimes address. Generally, I talk about music history and the history of Black American sound, and that's my bread and butter topic. And so, but in the same time, I can't go around in the world and see all the things that I see and not talk about it. And yes, when people are, you got to be aware when you call people stupid and uneducated for having their point of view, you're going to get some things thrown back at you. That's why I know I talk a lot of stuff. So if people throw things back at me, I don't care. It doesn't bother me because I know who I am. And I know, and sometimes I'll be like, damn, DeJuan, you did deserve that. You did go a little. Sometimes I listen to myself like, damn, you did go hard. So when people respond and have what they have to say, I'm not going to sit there like, look at him. He mad right now. I'm saying he mad. I ain't going to be mad like that. You sitting there seething right now. I see.
No, he not. He looking at something on it. He looking at something on the internet.
I'm going to have a good, for me, I'm your Huckleberry. If you want to have a good time, talk about these things, I'm going to talk about it. But there's nothing you can say that's going to throw me off my square and what I see. I have my research. When it comes to my books that I write, when it comes to my information, anyone who follows me know that I treat my YouTube the same way I treated anthropology in school. At least 3 to 5 points of reference for every point that I make. And if I can't get 3 to 5 points of reference from a point that you're trying to make when you're trying to change my opinion, then I just don't listen to it. But it's fine. Everyone has a right to their opinion. I got love for everybody. Part of my Black American culture is clowning and talking shit. Part of my the way I get down is I can clown and talk shit and then break bread with somebody 6 seconds later. Doesn't bother me. But if it bothers somebody else, tough titty. My thing is this. We have to understand that we different. We're going to see things different. We got different backgrounds. We have different lineages. So when I see someone say that they're African and they really convinced, something to me tells me there's probably something in that person's DNA that's telling them that's who they are. And I'm not going to argue with you and say that's what you're not. But if you come over to my side of the fence and I've done all the work, I ain't do all the work that I've done for somebody to tell me what I'm not, especially when you come around and you ain't got nothing to say. But yeah, but okay, where's the proof? If you ain't got the proof, I'm like, whatever. So I got to say, I got love for everybody. I got love. Thank you, Dr. Mahad. I thought that you did you did a good job of Mr. Dr. Smalls as a host. You do what a host is supposed to do, and you do a great job of hosting. So I appreciate you for the platform. Even in areas that I disagree, even with Ankh and YouTube brothers, we disagree. Right. I don't look at you any less than or me any better than just because we disagree. We just see certain things a little bit differently. Right. But when you throw a wide net out there and call a group of people stupid, watch out for somebody in that group might come out and shoot back. And I'm just the nigga that's gonna shoot back. And whatever you gotta say to me, I can take it. I don't care. So that's just what it is. Salute to Sincere. And I think that everybody has a right to feel however they feel. And that's not my business to tell you you're not who you are. But I'm standing 10 toes down into who I am. And on top of that, and so anybody telling me I'm not that, I'm going to reply, and I'm going to have a lot of fun when I reply. I like to make myself laugh. So when you say something crazy to me and I reply, that reply is going to be to entertain me. Leave me alone if you don't want that stuff to come back your way. If I offended anybody out there, I apologize if I offended you, but I still mean what I said.
Brother DeJuan, look, do me a favor in the back chat, put your info back there because Dr. Asar has an establishment called the Temple of New African Thought. We have lectures and panel discussions, and we're gonna bring Ankh in. We're gonna bring you all in, and to have another panel discussion about this whole, FBA and all that other stuff. So, all right, I see it. I got the email address right there. So,
email. I need my email address right now.
I got it right. You put it in the back. I'm looking at it.
I just put my Twitter. Let me give you the email.
Oh, you typing it now? Okay, that's your X. Okay.
info@DeJuanB.com.
Okay, let me go right here and use my little camera. Yeah, we're gonna bring y'all in and have more discussions about this. I definitely want to have one on this Pan-Africanism. We'll pack the house with that one.
Yeah,
y'all making some claims. It ain't this, it ain't that, and so I would love that. I think that would be Dr. Saw. I'm lining up something at the temple.
It works. All
right, let's do it.
New African thought, which is also a way of delineating.
That's right.
New African thought.
Brother Ankh, what are your thoughts? Your closing words?
Yeah, he's scamming like a motherfucker, yo. And he know he's scamming. Let me play the script right here, man.
We about to close out.
Your clips don't match what you saying, though. You gotta line your clips up with your speech, brother.
We closing out, brother.
My voice a little whatchamacallit. Now he closed out for 20 minutes though. I got it on the clock, and he's still talking. He's still running his
You
mouth.
call me a scammer, you man.
Yeah, you
He
scam.
ain't close out. He ain't close out for 20 minutes, brother.
He
But
did.
go ahead.
I got it on the thing. I can show it.
He did
I
not
did it
close
on
out for
purpose.
20 minutes. He closed out.
Warm milk,
15 minutes.
warm milk. That helps.
Got close out, y'all. We
All right,
closing
here we
out.
go. All right, here we go.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you deal with like anthropology and all of that, they only talk about 3 races on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a whole bunch of different racial categories. You know what I'm saying? It's Africans, it's Asians, and it's Europeans. But they will use the term Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they're referring to the racial makeup, you know what I'm saying, of those different groups. And that's what he's using the term African to refer to, which is why he embraces the term. I just want to say that that's my interpretation of, because I've heard him say that and break it down several times of where he's coming from with that. So I just want to put that out there for people who might be confusing the two things. You know what I'm saying? But he does also convolute it a little bit when he starts talking about culture and different things. You know, he does say certain things that kind of mix that up as well. So it's open to however you want to interpret.
So once again, Sincere don't know what the hell he's talking about. And he's in a conversation that requires you to understand that they actually said it was 5 races, but that was doing scientific racism. They don't even do that anymore. There's only one race, and that's the human race. Simple as that. If you can't understand a concept, how can you sit there and teach African Americans who they are? That means you really can't get to your history because you don't know how to use anthropology. They made nothing but mistakes on this panel. For some weird reason, they still think it's an ethnogenesis between an indigenous black people that was here, some black traders, and a little bit of slaves. Y'all can go back and play the clips. That is my concern, that we have another generation that will be miseducated off this foolery. We have been carrying this lie that we Native Americans for a long time, man. The elders even said that they was wrong. And to that, I say they were pseudosciences on that. Now we're clear. We can see you. I see you. Our eyes are wide open. We're not going. We understand that our ancestors come from Africa. We get to America. We have an ethnogenesis with Europeans and some Native Americans. We understand we developed a culture separate from African indigenous culture that incorporated indigenous African ideals and principles. Thus, they call us African Americans. We are the foundation of what made the economy what it is today. And for that, they owe us that money. And for those that will give us those billions and trillions of dollars, they have a system called science. They will use that system for us or against us. So you can talk all you want and say all you want to say. I ain't gonna be able to do it. They know who the hell you are, man. They know what they did. They know what you did. So we don't got to argue and fight. We don't got to make up new stuff. Y'all making up new stuff based off of not understanding the subject matter. I'm never allowing a group of continental Africans, a couple of them, because I ain't like I know all of them, to talk shit, and all of a sudden that make me follow a wild movement that's defiling everything that we all know we come from. Makes no sense. And I'm never making up shit just to get my point across. They came in here tonight and they made it up. They make my man down there swear he a damn Indian. He just won't say it. In his heart, he think you're an Indian.
Oh, you got.
He won't say it. Lee Sincere say it. Lee Sincere got enough heart to say, "Yeah, yo, I'm more. You know, I'm with the people." And it was already thinking.
You can see my heart with them thick ass
man right here, yo. He Chief Broken Foot, Chief Head talking with the meat on the back of it. That's what I'm gonna call you. Meat on the back of your head, Chief. Talking.
See.
I'm stopping.
Hey, didn't nobody laugh though.
My point is very, very important here.
Funny, just be funny. That's all.
My point is here, and it's very, very important though. Let this be a precautionary tale.
Cautionary, not precautionary. Cautionary.
If you don't understand literacy and scientific literacy, if you don't understand how to get to your damn history, shut the hell up. We don't need more misinformation. If you don't understand what Pan-African or Pan-Africanisms is, shut the hell up. If you cutting hair and you get off work and you dive on a podcast, if you work in construction site and you get off, you dive on a podcast, know what the hell you talking about. Because African Americans, we ain't going no more. We're not listening to elders who act like the rocks is crying out and we was here first and we swam and serpent at it. We're not listening to none of that. We have the tools to produce and understand our story. We understand who and what we are. So all I'm saying is, man, y'all two brothers, y'all got to get that straight, man. First, know what the hell Pan-Africanism is. Know it's the difference between being a Garveyite, right? And understanding what Pan-Africanism is and what it ain't. Understand what an ethnogenesis is and don't make that shit up. Knock it off. With that, I appreciate everybody for listening tonight. I enjoyed myself, but I'm never listening to another man tell me what I got in my mouth. Plan or not, I'm never going for that. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, brother. Brother Sincere. Brother Sincere, then you, Dr. Asar, and then I'll say my words.
I'll be very brief. First of all, thank you, Dr. Ma'at. Much respect to you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate the whole panel, man. I think it was fun, although I don't think it was very constructive. I did have fun. I did enjoy myself tonight, but I'm just being honest. I don't think.
Yeah, you was like, it ain't constructive. You was like, I had fun too. I ain't gonna lie, I had fun. It was fun. It was fun.
I had a lot of fun, but I just don't think it was very constructive, and I thought it would be. To be honest, I really thought it would be just different. You know what I'm saying? It didn't turn out the way I thought it would turn out.
Same. I share your same sentiment.
These things happen. You know what I'm saying? We live. You know what I'm saying? It's not pre-scripted or nothing like that. You know what I mean? We got 5 different personalities up here, so I'm not blaming nobody or nothing like that. I'm not mad. You know, I'm just being honest about my thoughts about, you know, how things went and how I wish they would have went. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, nothing but respect for you, Dr. Ma'at. You one of my favorite teachers.
Likewise.
Teachers, I always big you up. I don't see any real contradictions between what I'm trying to promote and what I see you doing. I don't really see, you know, a real conflict there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue to do what I do, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I don't think I know it all and I got it all together. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is as far as that. I seen people in the chat asking about the song that I mentioned, Revenge of the Akata. All my music, well, most of my music is available on whatever streaming platforms you use. You just type in Revenge of the Akata. I don't think nobody else got a song called Revenge of the Akata.
I don't think so either.
You should be able to get the song, and you know, you get access to the rest of the music as well. Other than that, I'm at Sincere Love to God on all social media platforms. And Asar, I know you invited me to have a conversation with you or whatever the case may be. I'm open to it, but we would definitely have to discuss some parameters and what exactly we're going to be talking about, because this right here, I'm really not with it. You know what I'm saying? Going all over the place. Like, if we're going to talk about something, I want to know exactly what we're going to be talking about and focus strictly on that. You know what I'm saying? And
you saying if you come to Baltimore?
No. He said he wanted to have a conversation with me. I'm thinking you're talking about like a live conversation. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just talking about behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about real life stuff. I'm not talking about online.
Oh, okay. So I misunderstood you.
Oh, you just wanted to highlight him offline.
Okay.
Because
but I close with that. Like I said, I'll be real brief.
Because this on you, Dr. Asar.
Because I do believe the brother's sincere. And you know what? Now the brother, what's my brother name? Dewan. Yeah, brother Dewan. Now I knew I saw you before when the whole thing about the hip hop thing with Tariq Nasheed. Although I can disagree with Tariq Nasheed, I do think that some of his points around hip hop was accurate. Was it also used as a tool of division? Some can argue that, but nonetheless, I did listen to you, Dewan, around that period, and I think you were making very cogent points, honestly. So I do remember you then. So I can hold nuance, right? Brother Sincere, I really do think that you truly are fighting in a way to protect us and get us in your way that you think what you think we deserve. I do think, though, we have to understand how messaging works and how we say things. And when we speak in generalities and all these other things that we're saying are harmless, I think social science will show you that it's not harmless. So we have to be more responsible with our messaging and the information
Yes.
that's out there.
Yes.
I think that the way that you all were speaking about Baba Small, and I'm not saying that you were trying to like, it did sound condescending, like y'all were giving him a lot. Well, he's kind of older, you know.
Yeah,
it's
he's
our
old
time
and
now,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, all that type of thing. And as if somehow, you know, my argument would be that even when he's wrong, I don't think anybody could really have he would, even though he would be a hard person to pin down with the amount of information that goes to those brain cells, you know, in a real sense, you know. But what I'm saying is, I do agree that a lot of our elders have put out misinformation, and not just misinformation, because in 20 years, we will be saying we put out misinformation. So I don't know if I automatically call it pseudoscience all the time, but some people who hold on to it and they continue to operate in that vein, yes, that's when it becomes pseudoscience.
Yes, that's my point.
Yeah, so
somebody said Drewski Tunde.
Say it again.
I was reading the chat.
Okay, so I want to do, Doc, I'm closing out. No one is speaking anecdotal. I think we have to be clear, and I think that we really have to practice discipline when we're talking about these things. There's no discipline going on. We really don't know what we're saying, and you might mean one thing, but once you say that no Pan-Africanists, we have to have training in how to say things in different ways. And it's coming across too often, and you say, well, that's not what I meant. No, we have to be more clear. You have to be more clear, and you have to begin to depend on those who do this type of thing. I'm saying that people who are trained in these things, you need to depend and talk to your brothers and sisters who are actually academics in this sense, and really can be more clear and help polish the argument, refine the argument, and the thought leader. What I'm saying is not qualified. Whether or not we want to call the dear brother a qualified leader, I mean, a leader or not, he's at least a thought leader, right? So no one is telling you who you are. Anecdotally, you can identify how you want to. If you want to identify a certain way, Indian and all that, I am not going to debate you about who you are. I'm not talking about you, Brother Sincere. But overall, I am saying that you anecdotally, and us as a globe, as United States Africans or African Americans, that is something totally different. If you speak from your own positionality, then what happens is it's kind of like dilute. It's kind of making it's messing the picture up. So be careful with the generalizations. I'm against anything that is divide and conquers us within our group, intergroup, out group, whatever. I'm talking about black people, wherever you are. I think we have to be careful with that, because that is playing into what white supremacists or whatever you want to call it, the system, whatever you want to call it, wants us to do. It's enough of that going on with these gender wars. So this is no difference than the gender wars, the feminists in the manosphere and all that stuff. Don't fall for the trap. That is what I'm saying. I'm against the psychological warfare, the divide and conquer. Put more work into building the movement will be my suggestion. The FBA movement, and talking about its positions and where it will go. And stop acting like it is a lineage without an ideology. The reason why people want to say there's no leader, no ideology, because no one wants any accountability. And it is not a pure lineage. It is an ideology. There's nothing wrong with that. But stop beating up on our brothers and sisters. Not you, Sincere, because you're a different type. You are not the majority. You are an anomaly. My dear brother down here too, he's so complex. I can tell he's a bright brother. That's why him and Ankh going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Both of them are bright. I'm saying, like, the wit is real, right? The wit is real. He's one of those brothers. The brother at the bottom, Dewan, he's one of those brothers that say, well, see, Dewan, you are very complex in the way you look at things. So you don't really care. But we have to understand that the way you say things, most people don't look at the world as new. I'm sorry to say it, in the way that you see it. So we have to be more responsible with the messaging we put out. Blessings. Thanks, Dr. Maya.
Ain't no problem. I just want to say this, fellas. Thank you.
I'm not going to, no pushback to that.
All right. I just want to say thank you all, everybody, Brother Ankh, Brother Sincere, Dr. Asar, and Brother Dewan for coming on. I know we were going strong for 3 hours. And I do agree with Brother Sincere. Like, we did go off topic, right? We supposed to be addressing the interview, and then it went from addressing the interview to addressing the ideas surrounding, you know,
Hey,
FBA.
do me a favor, real quick,
Hold
Doc.
up. While everybody was talking, I didn't cut nobody off.
No, I wasn't trying
Seriously.
to cut you off, Doc.
Yeah,
Hold,
let me finish my thought. I just let everybody close out. I went from the brother Dewan to you to Sincere to Asar, and it's like as soon as I open up my mouth, it was like yo, like yo. I
wasn't trying to. No, Doc,
I'm
that
just,
wasn't.
that's what happened though. I just want to finish my thoughts. I allow everyone talk, and if people go back in this, people that have been watching can say she talked the least out of everybody tonight. Literally. And then when it's time to close out, I just told everybody, hey, brother Dewan, you go first. Brother Ankh, you go first. Sincere love to God, you go first. Dr. Asar, you go. And then I went last. So I just, you know, sitting here listening to 4 people talk for almost 3 hours and barely talking. I just feel like when I open my mouth, can I at least say something? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So I want to first and foremost thank everybody for coming on tonight. I agree with Brother Sincere. We kind of went from saying that we were going to address the interview to addressing ideas surrounding FBA back to addressing the interview towards the end. I do agree with it. I do agree with him that it could have been more constructive, but he made a great point. We're live and it's unscripted, and it wasn't like here's the template or here's the outline we're following. We just kind of freestyled in the conversation with where it went. But nonetheless, I do appreciate everybody's thoughts, you know, opinions and views. I want to thank the chat for participating, whether I agree with what you're saying or not. People came in, they participated. Brother Dewan, he brought his folks through. They came through heavy, Brother Dewan, for you tonight, honey. They came through heavy. You know, shout out to the pseudo killers and community of skeptics. They came through. Brother Sincere, I think you're streaming on your platform. Dr. Asar, you're streaming on your platform. So I do appreciate everybody who's been in the chat, kind of just engaging one another. And like I said, you may not agree with what we're saying, or, you know, that is your right. But at least you showed up tonight and you engaged, and I thank you all for that. Before everybody gets out of here, do me a favor, thumb up these videos, thumb them up, thumb it up. Also share this video, and lastly, subscribe to our YouTube channels. I know Sincere Love to God has a YouTube channel. Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler has one. Brother Ankh has one. Community of Skeptics. Brother Dewan, what's the name of your platform, brother?
At Dewan B, DWANNB.
Yep. So he has his platform. So subscribe to our YouTube channels, hit the notification bell so that whenever we go live, you will be notified. And lastly, I just want to say this. When we have these, I feel like social media is a gift and a curse, right? It's a gift in that we are able to connect with different people and yes, share ideas and share information. But the curse is that some of the stuff we're sharing misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And so I just want to charge people who do have influence, right? Who do pick up this mic to do your due diligence before you start spewing, you know, ideas and opinions. Do your due diligence, research, educate yourself. Because as Dr. Asar said, you know, sometimes the messaging isn't accurate, and we want to make sure that, you know, when we grab these mics and when we spread ideas and concepts, that we're being as accurate, you know, as possible. And so that's what I had to say. Anything else? I know Brother Ankh, you wanted to get in.
No, I actually didn't want to get in.
What was the two? What was the two?
I just wanted you to, while you was talking, I just wanted to share the map so we could see the genetic signatures. I did not want to talk, say nothing. I just want to show these brothers the article. I wanted everybody to see that while you was talking. That was it. I don't have nothing to say.
All right, everybody finished. We all done, Brother Sincere?
Dr. Ma'at, do you know the 2 races that I missed? I'm asking that seriously because I got that from Van Sertima's book.
Mm-hmm.
What I was talking
that
about.
It was 3 races.
Yeah,
it was 5.
That it was 5.
Mm-hmm. What was the 2 that I missed?
So who did he miss?
Oceania, Mongoloid, Caucasoid, Negroid, and Native American.
Native American. That's a race.
Yeah, it was 5 of them.
Native American is
a Mongoloid.
Those are Mongoloids. The red natives.
Saying it was all wrong though. That's the point. You're still promoting outdated racist information is outdated. That's what I'm saying. There is no such thing as race anymore.
No, I agree with that point. There's only one human race point, but I was talking about the construct. But anyway, we out of here for tonight.
All right, y'all.
Parents, the future is moving fast, and too many of our youth are missing out on the coding, circuitry, and AI skills that will shape tomorrow's opportunities. And when STEM programs ignore Black history, our youth lose the cultural spark and legacy connection that gives them confidence, creativity, and power. We cannot afford that gap. That's why the UACI Virtual Winter STEM Camp is a must. From December 29th, 2025 through January 2nd, 2026, our youth will code, build microbit circuits, explore real AI tech, all while connecting STEM to the brilliance of their African heritage. Spots will go fast, so go right now to uacistemcamp.com and enroll your young geniuses today.